don't worry, this will be posted to our YouTube channel. For those of you who stick around and participate more, we are keeping track of our participants so that you can be entered to win one of the many prizes we have. First up, we have Jason Adams. He will be speaking on behalf of our Aerospace Center, formerly known as C-Center. So Jason, feel free to share your screen and get started whenever you're ready. And you are muted, Jason.
Okay.
There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Y'all can see my screen okay?
Yes. If anyone has questions for during any of our presentations, please raise your hand or type them in the chat. But you're free to start whenever you're ready.
Okay. All right, so like Mara said, my name is Jason Adams. I'm a PhD that works with the Center for Space Exploration Technology Research. At least that's what our name used to be. Now it is the Aerospace Center. But basically, we're one of the largest research centers on campus. We have about 115 students that work for us right now. And so I'm going to just give a brief overview of what we do and some of the things that we work on, and then open it up for questions. So C-Center, or the Aerospace Center, has a vision to establish a university center of excellence in aerospace and energy engineering. We do this via research and strategic partnerships in order to educate a diverse future of aerospace and energy engineers. On the right, you can see some of the pictures of some of our students that have actually been working pretty extensively. We'll go through what all we do though. Since 2009, we've graduated more than 400 graduates who have all gone into the aerospace and defense workforce. We've had 150 plus students go into internships, co-ops at NASA and other aerospace industries, specifically Blue Origin. More than 85% of our students come from El Paso zip codes when they first start, and then we end up having them graduate and move on to very promising careers. 35% of our sponsored students are undergrads, and 65% are graduate students, both PhDs and MS. Right now we're at about 115, but we do average about 120. We do average about 15 faculty and staff per semester sponsored in research for the center. And right now we have about 200, I think this number is actually a little bit outdated, it's about 250 right now for publications. So basically what we try to do is we try to close the gap. Basically we start out K through 12 outreach, so you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, we try to get with young students who are just starting so that we can start getting them involved and get them where they're really interested in STEM. Then what we try to do is get them engaged as early as high school with C-Center or the Aerospace Center. We work with partnerships with different high schools, Eastwood High School, Bowie High School we've worked with in the past, Riverside. We've done, I believe, 12 out of the high schools in the city right now. And then what we start doing is we start teaching them what they need to do in order to really get involved in the center and get involved in engineering. And then we start training them once they get into college, and we start working on getting them where they're employable. Everyone that you see in these pictures, minus the people in the bottom left-hand corner, the students that are K-12, all of these people have gone out into industry at this point, with very few exceptions. So the Myro C-Center or Aerospace Center has many different external partners, ranging from universities to NASA, Blue Origin, Lockheed Martin. We've worked very extensively with all these people, either through collaboration, independent research contracts, or just straight up grants. So we actually have quite a few different partners that we can tie people into so that we can get more and more investment into our education process. For the actual on-campus facilities that we have, we actually have more than just on-campus facilities, but the on-campus facilities are broken up into two major labs. The first one is the Goddard Research Lab. This one primarily focuses on combustion and propulsion. So we have a full-size bunker, which is Kevlar lined. It's essentially bulletproof. Then we have high-speed imaging, flame study capabilities, and emission analyzers. So that's going to be on the left side of your screen. You can actually see the bunker in the bottom left-hand corner. And then you can see 3 thrusters that we've actually tested and produced here on campus. And then our Challenger Columbia Research Facility is primarily used and focused on material processing and characterization. This is where you'll see we have a lot of our machines in order to actually see how we our strengths of materials, and we can actually do nano indentation. It's primarily a material testing laboratory. Additionally, we have our Computational Lab. This is located on the 2nd floor, where we have desktops and docks for laptops and secure control servers. Basically, we have a direct line straight to the high processing power computer in Austin, where we can do all of our heavy duty simulations and basically get a direct line to those. And then we have our Unmanned Aerial Vehicle Systems Laboratory, which is basically for our drone systems. This is located on the 1st floor of the engineering building and the basement of the education building. And this is where we can do unmanned traffic management systems. So we can actually track drones as they're flying. We have 28 autonomous aircrafts that we can actually fly at any given moment. We have advanced sensor applications and the ability to do post-processing capabilities to produce large-scale research-grade data products. And then we have UVA ground and flight academics. So if you actually go through our center, you can become a certified drone pilot. Then if you go off campus, we have 4 offsite facilities. The first one would be our Triac Alpha site. This is actually in Fabens, Texas. This is where we do a lot of our tests and our large scale testing. We do 500-pound rocket engine tests, large scale DOE combustor tests, and that's all done in a controlled area out in Fabens, Texas. Then we also in Fabens, we have our headquarters site. It's just adjacent to Alpha site, and that is a design studio and manufacturing workshop. It's also where we do collaboration commons. So basically, if you work in CSETR or decide to come work with us, basically what we can do is you get partnered up with graduate students and undergrad students, and so you can actually collaborate pretty extensively. I mean, me as a PhD student, I had roughly 20 students that I worked with on a daily basis, just working on rocket systems. Then in our Tornillo site, we have our unmanned aerial systems range. It's approximately 25 acres. It's just under that. That's just for the actual facility. And then we have 600 acres of land along with a 400-foot runway just to do aerial system flights. That is all done through the university, and that's heavily funded by the Department of Homeland Security. Then our last offsite facility is going to be the Spacecraft Design and Engineering Facility. This is actually where we do a lot of our CubeSats and a lot of our small scale testing for space equipment. So we have an S-band antenna that we can actually track satellites. We're a well-known tracking station for satellites and CubeSats that are in space right now. Then we also have an instructional and testing training facility that we actually use to train people on CubeSat assembly and how to actually go through the maintenance of a mission for CubeSats. So Triac Park, like I said, this is going to be in Fabens, Texas. We have numerous test sites. This is actually an older picture. We now have 5 of these test cells. The building's in the top right-hand corner of your screen. and they house everything from systems that can test rocket fuels to see how effectively they burn, all the way to combustors that burn liquid oxygen, liquid methane systems at approximately 1 megawatt power. In the lower left-hand corner, you can actually see a picture of one of our tests on one of those combustors. And then a new addition to it is our vertical test stand, which is the bottom two right-hand corner pictures. That's actually housing now a oxy-coal combustor that we use for the DOE. For the headquarters site, it's mostly for integration and for actual manufacturing of systems that are then moved to the alpha site. But it's also used as the commons, like I said. So these are some of the systems that we've actually worked on at the headquarters site. The picture on the right you'll see is a DOE combustor, and then the pictures that you see in the middle are of our 500-pound engine system and the team working on that. So this is more pictures of our engine. So you can see basically there's quite a few things that we work on. The actual 500-pound engine is the top right-hand corner. Then you can see how the actual testing went in the bottom left-hand corner. So that's actual flight data that we actually accomplished during tests. For the unmanned aerial system flight test range, it's 38 miles from the Utep main campus in Tornillo, Texas. It's a little bit of a drive, but it allows us to actually fly our systems beyond line of sight, and we can actually basically fly as high as we want to go. We don't really have a whole lot of restriction in what we do. So you can see some of the mini systems that we actually fly. All these are commercially made or built in-house. We do a lot of systems that we design the UAVs from scratch. Then for the spacecraft design and engineering facility, it's primarily, like I said, for instructional and training facility. It also does environmental testing for space systems. It's where we have a clean room to do our electronic systems. And then it's also, like I said, a satellite ground station. So we can actually track satellites that we've put into space directly from this facility. So we don't have to go to an outside company. If you actually look in the middle of your screen at the top, that's Orbital Factory 2. That is a CubeSat that's actually on orbit right now. We were given a grant from the United Launch Alliance in order to design and build a CubeSat that would do testing 3D printing in space. So that was actually launched about a year ago. We received contact from it actually a year ago today. And then it will actually continue to orbit for about another 3 years. For employee training, we actually have numerous meets and greets with industry professionals. I mean, you name it, from the president of ULA to NASA engineers, professionals from all over the country have come in and spoken and worked with our students, just to name a few. JC Melcher is in the middle of your screen with the picture of the 500-pound engine with the Texas flag in the background. He's a NASA engineer. We have the president of ULA, Tony Bruno, in the top left-hand corner. Basically, we have excellent opportunities to offer, just basically showing, that we have so many people that are involved in our training and getting people involved in the aerospace and energy fields once they graduate from Utep. Then on the other side of that, we actually use our students to actually outreach and get people who are younger into the field of STEM. So these are all images from local area high schools, middle schools, where we're doing outreach and teaching basically what we do in the schools themselves. These were taken, I believe these were taken at Burgess High School, where we were actually doing demonstrations on some of the things that we can do. So this is all done through our K through 12 outreach. These are all images of students who are on internship or out in industry. So you can see we have a lot of people who end up going to NASA, and we also have a lot of people who end up going to Blue Origin. So these are all images of our graduates who have all gone on to better things. So at this point, I'll take any questions. If you have any questions, you can ask me, and then if you want to take a picture of this, this will be contact information so you all can apply if you all would like to try and work for our center.
We do have a question in the chat from Kevin. He wants to know how one can become a certified pilot.
Okay, so basically, if you come into the center and basically start working for our UAV team, it's basically automatic. We start doing the training system for you. We have Dr. McGee, who is actually a retired F-16 fighter pilot and trainer, who will go in and teach you how to fly drones. And then you'll go through the aviation test through the FAA so that you'll be certified as a pilot.
We have another question. How can someone apply to do research in these fields? Because I'm interested in applying.
Okay. So basically what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to go to M305 in the metallurgy building, or send an email to Luz Bugarin, which I can get the email right now. I believe it's LIBUGRAIN at utep.edu. All you have to do is basically walk in, say that you want an application. Then they'll give you an application and you can fill it out and then just send in your resume. And then we start reviewing. We review year round, but most of our hiring is done at the beginning of the semester. So we'll do that. And then for the question about international students, we do accept international students. There are limitations on what projects you can work on, but we do accept international students so that you all can work with us. There's only a couple projects that you can't work on.
And what does the application process look like?
So basically, you just fill out the application. It's a single page, basically name, where you live, phone number, and then any references that you can give us, and then your resume. And then once you make it through that step, we start calling people in for interviews, and then it's an interview, and then we hire people on.
Can we type in the chat the email, the point of contact they should send their resumes to, or any type of interest to?
Sure, just give me 1 second, because I want to make sure I get you all the right email.
And I think I know the answer to this one. Someone's asking, is experience required or only recommended? Based on what other people have said, I believe you guys don't require any prior experience, but I'll let you speak more on that.
No, we don't require previous experience. It is preferred, but we don't require it. And then recommendations that are to get better chances of getting in. Honestly, make sure that your professors know who you are, because a lot of the professors who work in CSETR are mechanical engineering professors. So by them knowing who you are, it actually helps us know who you are, if that makes sense. So basically, if your professors can say that you're a good student, then we can use that in order to get you in a little bit easier. I just put the email into the chat, by the way. And then if you have any experience that that you can put down, such as computational fluid dynamics, FEA, if you have any experience doing machining, Those are all really big pluses for us. And then, I mean, basically we're trying to get as many people in as we can. So we hire as frequently as we can, and we try to fund as many people as we can.
Awesome. Thank you, Jason. If you guys have any more questions for Aerospace Center, feel free to contact that email address Jason provided. Or if not, you can type them in the chat and we'll get those to the appropriate people after the open house.
I'm actually going to also put my email in just so that if you all have any other questions, you all are welcome to email me as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Jason.
All right. Thank you all.
Okay, so next we have the Keck Center to present, but Mahesh, I believe you're here. Can you let me know if you all will be able to present? If not, that's okay. We can skip over it. Okay, I think to be safe, we'll go ahead and skip the Keck Center. Do we have our representative from Women on Aeronautics and Astronautics here?
I think we're waiting for a couple more people.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so the Keck Center will be presenting. Let me call them in. Hi, Mireya.
Hi, Maida. Should I go ahead or are we waiting for something else?
You're good. You can go ahead. So everyone, Mireya is the manager over at the WM Keck Center for 3D Innovation, and she'll be giving a short presentation on exactly what they do there.
Give me just 1 second and I'll get my slides up.
You're fine.
Okay. Nope, not it. Okay. So apologies for being late. Yeah, my name is Mireya. I'm the center manager here at the Keck Center. I would like to start off by playing a little video. I don't know if you guys will get sound. Let me just confirm that I selected the right option when I shared. There we go. Okay.
The advent of 3D printing enables engineers to design and build devices in a new fashion. We can use 3D printing to take advantage of geometric complexity and potentially build better electrical motors. The material extrusion process is interrupted or paused at strategic spots to embed the required bearings and electronic components. The design also allows for the 6 magnets to be inserted, encapsulated, and then 9 electromagnets are prepared and embedded into the motor. After replacing the build platform and depositing more thermoplastic, the second bearing is inserted along with a 10-amp electric speed controller. This video demonstrates the 3D printing of a motor in a single build sequence so that the device can be removed from the build platform, plugged in, and used immediately. Future work will focus on using the design freedom 3D printing provides to produce novel devices that may possess never-before-seen performance and capabilities.
So that's just a little intro. Can you all still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So that's just a little bit of an intro on what we do. So the Keck Center was founded in 2000. We now have 2 facilities, one on campus and one offsite on Cotton Street, for a total of 30,000 square feet. We're very excited because we recently finished the second phase of our remodel of our Cotton facility, and we moved some equipment over there and some personnel over there in the summer of 2020. We were also awarded a $70 million grant by the UT System Board of Regents to build a new building in collaboration with Setter to house all of our advanced manufacturing. And so we're very excited about that. That's still a few years away, but the Keck Center is growing significantly each day. We are a satellite center of this organization called America Makes. So America Makes is a DoD institute through the Air Force Research Laboratory. And we are a satellite center. We have been a satellite center since 2015. So this will be our 6th year. This is just a little bit of the history of the Keck Center. Like I said, we started in 2000. Over the years, we have expanded. We started with a single 3D printer. Now we have, I believe, 75 additive manufacturing systems of different sizes for different materials. And like I said, we have grown over the years. We had, in 2006, when the Keck Center officially opened under its Keck title, it previously had another title. We had 6,000 feet, and then we grew to 13,000 square feet in 2012. We added another 17,000 with the opening of the Cotton facility downtown. And then, of course, we have this new $70 million facility that will be built over the next few years. I wanted to talk to you, and I talk about this program at every open house, but I think it's important for you all to be aware about this graduate certificate. This is the graduate certificate in 3D engineering and additive manufacturing. So this is a 1-year program. It's 15 graduate credit hours. It is located at Utep, taught by Keck Center faculty. Sorry about that. This teaches you additive manufacturing in terms of using desktop printers as well as industrial sized printers. You can see here, this is Chris, one of our former students that is actually inside the BAM system, which is our largest 3D printer. There are 5 courses that make up this program. There are 3 lecture courses, which is the introductory course, the design course, and the advanced course. And then there are these 2 design studios, which are more of the hands-on courses. And so right now in the spring, the Design for 3D Engineering and Additive Manufacturing course is going on. The introductory course and the advanced course are both taught during the fall. And then Design Studio 1 and Design Studio 2 are taught during wintermester and Maymester, respectively. So this past wintermester, they finished Design Studio 1. It was the first time we did it virtually entirely, and so we introduced some cameras and some monitoring equipment so that students could still feel like they were using the printers even though they were working from home. So please, if you if you want to really pursue additive manufacturing as a career, look into this graduate certificate. We have students that have gotten jobs or gone on to graduate school at some very prestigious government, industry, and academic organizations, in part because they have gone through this program. There are some admission requirements. So it is required that you have a bachelor's degree in engineering or science. You'll need to provide a transcript, an official transcript or a current resume, and a single letter of recommendation from a supervisor or a faculty member. For new students, you are asked to apply through graduate school, and you just go through the graduate school application process, and you'll see the graduate certificate as one of the available programs. For current graduate students, you can actually enroll in the program by just sending an email to gc3d@utep.edu and letting us know that you're interested. And we will sign you on to the program without having to submit a new graduate school application. If you are a current undergraduate student, but you're interested in participating in this program, you're asked to complete an application for the Fast Track combined bachelor's and master's program with mechanical engineering. And this will allow you, if you complete that application and you're accepted into the Fast Track program, then you can actually start taking graduate certificate courses during the last year, I believe, of your bachelor's degree. For any questions, you can approach myself or Dr. David Espalin. He is the program advisor. We recently, last semester in September, we launched, I should say, a new program called Drive AM, which is focused on education and workforce development, specifically for the Department of Defense. There is also a component for K through 12 and community outreach, although that component has sort of been on hold because of the current COVID situation. A lot of that work is meant to take place at the cotton facility. So here's a rendering of what our cotton facility looks like. This facility is meant to promote a STEM pipeline. It's also meant to serve as a business incubator to a certain extent, where if people have new ideas for businesses in additive manufacturing or 3D printing, they can further develop their ideas here at the cotton facility. And just in general, it's meant as an innovation center to develop the next generation of products within DoD and within industry. We are always taking applications. I'm not aware of openings right at this moment. I know that we are looking for a graphic designer for the Keck Center. So if you fulfill that requirement, or if you are or if you know of graphic designers that may be looking for student employment, please have them reach out. Anybody who is interested is welcome to submit a resume at wmkeckcenter@utep.edu, and we will consider your resume for any positions that may be open. We do also accept work study applications, or I should say we accept, we have positions for students that are enrolled in work study. So please make sure that if you are work study eligible, that you indicate that in your email or your resume. That's really all I have. This is just our contact information, so you can visit us on our Facebook page or on our website, which is keck.utep.edu. I don't believe my email is provided here, but if you have questions, my email is maperez4@utep.edu, and you can reach out to me as well. So with that said, I think we have about 4 minutes maybe left for some questions, if anybody has any.
We have one in the chat, Mireya. Someone is asking, could the certificate in 3D engineering eventually become a degree here at UTEP?
There is that possibility. We have written a couple of proposals, and I believe that we just submitted another one with the focus of turning that into an actual graduate degree. I don't believe it would be an undergraduate degree, but I think we're pursuing at least a master's and potentially a PhD. That is probably still a couple of years away.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Mireya.
Sure.
Someone else is asking, how was the experience of taking virtual classes instead of using the machines?
So I didn't participate too closely. Basically what they did is that they set up the printers at the cotton facility, and then they installed webcams. So using Twitch, I believe, students who were in the class, because the courses are in groups, and so the different groups could access the Twitch page, and then they could see what was being printed, so that if they were maybe doing a late afternoon print and they noticed that their print was failing, they could contact somebody at the Keck Center to have the print stopped. And so they were able to do the design, and I believe all of the setup with all of the software at home, but the actual printing took place at the cotton facility. And like I said, I was not directly involved in the course, but there may be others on the call that probably experienced it firsthand and may be able to provide more insight.
Awesome. And then we have one more question. What kind of opportunities can an undergraduate student get at the Keck Center?
So, I mean, our undergraduate students are very hands-on. We're very proud of the fact that our students are able to come in and start utilizing the equipment and start working directly on the research. In other universities, many times undergraduate students do not have access to the equipment, and that is limited to graduate students. And so really any undergraduate student can expect to come into the Keck Center and be directly involved in the research, either through software or actual use on the 3D printing equipment.
Okay, perfect. And then one more question and we'll let you go, Mireya. If
Sure.
a student is graduating this semester with their bachelor's, when can they start this graduate certification program?
So you can you can try to enroll even in the Maymester and take the Maymester course. I would recommend that you start in the fall. So you could complete your graduate school application now or in the summer, and then start the graduate certificate in the fall. And by next May, you should be done. If you take the courses in the recommended order, you should be done by May of 2022.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Mireya. For any questions, is it okay if I direct them to wmkeckcenter@utep.edu?
Sure, and you're welcome to provide my email as well. In fact, let me, I'll go ahead and add it here in the chat if anybody has any questions.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mireya. As she goes ahead and types her email in the chat, we are going to move forward with Women of Aeronautics and Astronautics. So Gala or a rep, if you are here, feel free to start sharing your screen.
Hi, thank you.
Hi there.
Okay. So hi everybody, welcome. We are the Women of Aeronautics and Astronautics. This is our second semester here at Utep. Very recently, we just started off basically brand new a couple semesters ago, but we went full on last semester. So here's a little bit about us. Desiree, you're muted.
Hi, I'm Desiree and I'm the vice president. So basically our mission as WOAA, just to let you guys know, we're one of 19 chapters in the United States. And what we are about is just empowering women and gender minority groups that are involved in aerospace and aeronautical fields through mentorship, outreach, and professional and technical development. So basically what we do, we know the struggle of being women or gender minority groups, like being the only person in a class when they're full of men or superior people. So we just want to make people feel included and empower people to just like never give up and keep working hard, and that they can get anywhere if they work hard enough. So we're just really passionate about that, and that's basically what we're about.
Yeah, so basically not letting, societal standards kind of add barriers to us being gender minorities in a male-dominated field. The way we plan on, working on this, like more women empowerment in the aerospace field is by having a lot of technical development. I know there are organizations such as, SWE and Women Empowerment Organization. But what we really want to shine on is the fact that we're going to be working on a lot of hands-on projects. And some of those are the AIAA design competitions. So we're not necessarily tied with AIAA student chapter here at UTEP. However, we do want to compete in these competitions. So this design competition, there's 4 different design teams that we plan on joining. After seeing how many members will join us, we'll be able to dictate which teams we're gonna start heading into. So there are 4 different teams, which is the aircraft design, space design, missile design, and engine design. They're each very specific. So some of them, they're only for graduate students, some are only for undergrads, but there are some that are for both under and graduate students. The aircraft design would be basically designing an aircraft that would be able to carry about, 3,000 pounds of armament and be able to support the same types of missions that attack helicopters work on. So we would be able to gather up a team that would be able to make this design. And what I like about this competition is that it's completely remote. So we wouldn't have to meet up physically and hands-on build something. So it would be a lot of designing, working on a lot of preliminary work. The space design would be designing a robotic mission for the surface of Mars. So the primary goal would be like returning a minimum of 2.5 kilograms of ice samples back to Earth. So we would basically design a small type of rover that could be able to launch from Earth, go to Mars, remove itself, gather up samples, and come back to Earth. And then for the missile design, that one's more about, more military services. And then the engine design, I believe that one is just for undergraduates, but it would be basically building an engine for a jet. So we would have that one, which is mostly, remote work, but then we also have something where we'd be able to come together as a team, of course, observing, safe social distancing. It's called the Lunar Lava Tubes NASA Challenge. So what this is, we have already registered 2 teams. We have placeholders, so we haven't decided specifically what each team will be doing, but the main goal is to build a small rover that would be able to autonomously follow a path in a course. And so depending on, the skill set that we have in our teams, whether we are very good at programming or very good at engineering design, we can combine our knowledges and experiences and be able to, gather these materials. I believe they will send it to us. NASA will send us like a small VEX rover or something. We'd be able to build it up and make our own code. That way it can autonomously follow a specific path in order to, simulate moving samples from one place to another, whether it being on Earth or the Moon or Mars.
So these are basically some of the professional connections that we have. And one thing that we do like to implement for our general meetings are guest speakers, especially women in the aerospace industry. This is just to reiterate the fact that there are women who can actually overcome the minority, I guess you could say, in the aerospace industry. So a few of our guest speakers include Jamie Gray. She actually was a guest speaker last semester. She was very informational and very helpful on her end. She actually has a lot of experience in her own projects and her own independent research through metal additive manufacturing. And she is a KU graduate in mechanical engineering. She is also a former SAE Formula Collegiate Design Series competitor who also placed in the competition. And she has also interned at the Army Research Lab. And for future guest speakers, we will be having Amelia Gregg as well as Erin Richardson, who both have extensive background in the aerospace industry. And as some of you might know, Dr. Amelia Gregg, she is also part of Utep. Now she is working with Utep on also being a professor. And just some background on her, she has a small satellite research background prior to Utep, as well as micropropulsion developer. And like I mentioned, she is also an assistant professor at Utep, and she also has a PhD. So we look forward to actually having her speaking at one of our general meetings soon. And our future guest speaker, Erin Richardson, she is part of the NASA Marshall Space Flight Center. She has extensive background as well in the aerospace industry, and she is a graduate for the Auburn University in aerospace engineering.
So alongside the technical competitions and the professional connections, we also really just want to be a community. So we want to be a safe space for our gender minorities to not only be able to speak about and break down the gender barriers, but also be very inclusive. So although we're women of aeronautics and astronautics, you don't have to be a woman or identify as a woman to be able to be part of our group. But we just want to be a small family where we could kind of work together and be part of not only STEM, but the aerospace industry. And alongside that, we also want to have a lot of social events. So some of the events that we have planned currently our paint night socials, movie nights. We could have board game nights. And what's good about having a small organization is that we're very open to suggestions. So anything that anyone might be interested in, we could kind of implement that throughout the semester. We also have close ties with prior WOA alumni. One of our previous officers, she was the former secretary, Norma Nava. She just graduated last semester. She's currently working at Procter & Gamble in material manufacturing in Missouri. So we also have a lot of connections through there. And we just want to make sure that we're a small little family that could kind of empower each other and help each other within the industry.
Yeah, so we will actually be having our first general meeting today at 4:30. It's going to be via MS Teams. I will be linking the meeting on the chat if anybody wants to join us for the meeting. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask us.
Other than joining the meeting, is there an email they could reach out to if they're interested in joining?
Yeah, so it could be any one of us. So I don't know if you guys want to put your emails. So that's my email right there. Gala Solis, I'm the president. And then we have the vice president, Desiree, secretary is Natalie, and Notion is our treasurer.
Do we have any questions for, okay. I know this was answered in your presentation, but if you guys could elaborate a little bit more. Luis is asking, is this a women-only organization?
So it's all inclusive. All genders are welcome. All majors are welcome. The only thing is we are trying to empower women in a minority field. So there's a lot of men in this field specifically. So in engineering, there's normally more men than women. And when we dive deep into like aerospace engineering, the amount of women inside the field actually starts to decrease. And so what we want to do is be able to help empower. And I'm pretty sure like anybody here will eventually have a wife, a sister, you know, a daughter, anything. Like you want to be able to empower and make them feel that it doesn't matter what society or what standard society has set beforehand, they can achieve whatever they want. So anybody is welcome to come, but we are very willing to empower all kinds of women in all fields and hopefully see more female leaders in the future. And in the chat, there's a link for our meeting at 4:30.
And then there's another question. If the organization is participating in both of the competitions mentioned, and that yes, we are. We're participating in both of them.
So for the lunar lava tubes one, I've already registered 2 teams. So they're just placeholders right now. We don't have the specific amount of people that we need. So today during our first general meeting, we'll be talking more about that into depth. And then for the other one, we still haven't fully registered yet, but the letter of intent for the teams that we choose is due next week on Friday. So as soon as we see who wants to be able to participate in these competitions, then we'll go ahead and like wrap everything up and start having our weekly meetings for these competitions.
And also for some of the competitions, there's different levels. So you don't necessarily need to have experience. So some of them, it's like 0 experience. Some of them, it's like more programming experience, but very little engineering experience. And some of them is very little programming experience and high engineering experience. So we could kind of tailor it to your specific skill set. So there's not really any specific class you need to have taken. There's no prerequisites. It's kind of just, if you're interested in it, we'll try to fit you in a team that could use the skills that you have.
Yeah, and I also want to reiterate the fact that we actually are mostly based on being an allyship to women, as we are a minority in the STEM industry, but more so in the aerospace industry. So For your classes and your experience, there's really no need to have any prior experience. This is all just to gain professional development, as well as, business majors. We are open to having business majors. A lot of these projects do require help in budget management. We're basically open to all majors for these projects. It's just to expand your knowledge skills and just show that you're an ally to the women in STEM.
Awesome. Thank you so much, ladies. This is super exciting. I definitely recommend anyone who's interested in joining to join. We're going to move forward onto SAE now. So thank you so much, Gala. You can unshare your screen. And whoever is going to speak on behalf of SAE Baja, feel free to start sharing your screen.
Hello, good afternoon, and of course.
Hi there. Hey, guys.
Hello. Are you all able to see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, so my name is Aia Design. I am currently a senior in mechanical engineering, and I'm currently the team advisor for Baja SAE. So a little bit about Baja SAE is we're one of the 4 branches from SAE as an organization. So right now, the rest of the organizations will have a chance to express what they do. But for us, what we consist of is we're a design and competition team in which we produce a kind of like a dune buggy in which everything is designed, manufactured, and assembled in-house. So how does it usually work? At the beginning of a semester, at the beginning of the school year, we proceed to go to the design board. We put pros and cons, what went well the previous year, what went bad. And from that point on, we decide to go through, okay, what implementations, what changes are going to be made. From that point on, some CADing changes are made, some new annotations are made, some new calculations are made. And all of this is for the benefit of obviously making the car better year by year. So we go through that design phase, or basically that recap phase. Then we proceed to the design phase in which we start the CADing process. From that point on, we start through the simulation phase, which we test the vehicle through different standards, which will be implemented in competition itself in a fully CAD-based system. And then from that point on, we proceed to go through the actual manufacturing phase, in which we manufacture this whole car. We're the ones who solder, we're the ones who make the cuts, we're the ones who assemble it, we're everything, all the bolts and nuts we do. And then from that point on, we actually, just decide to test it here in-house. We have a track by the gym in which we actually go out and we test this car and see how well it does. And from that point, we go through iterations until we can get the best possible vehicle into competition itself. So that's what Baja is in short. And from what you will learn a little bit of, you'll get better at CADing, you'll get better at, your mathematics. You'll learn a bit about simulation. You'll learn a bit about everything, this car consists of. It's a lot of research, it's a lot of implementation. And, it's definitely, that practice of being able to not just design something, but be able to actually put it into context. And what do you get in return? What you get in return is you definitely get, that awesome team environment, the possibility to actually go and compete, the possibility for, get that experience outside of the classroom, the possibility for a fun experience, and definitely the possibility for future internships or job experience, job placements. A few of us have had that opportunity, and it definitely looks good on your resume when you're doing something that's this great outside of the classroom itself. Just a little bit about our competition. We go through different series of tests throughout this competition. One of them is the endurance race, which basically turns into a last car standing. The last car that's standing in the competition, the last car that breaks down is the winner of that race. It's not a matter of who's the fastest or who does the best time, just simply who can last the most time on that race. Then we have the steering itself, which is just a test of maneuverability. We have an acceleration test, which that one is basically who can accelerate the fastest. We have a hill climb in which the car tries to go up a hill with a weight on the back and see who can make it the furthest up the hill before, either sliding or falling back or anything of that sort. We have suspension events, which basically just test the rigidity of your suspension, of your shocks, of your struts. We have cost events in which we actually do professional presentations, and we try to sell our vehicle to people that are actually in the industry. So we'll try to sell to companies like Cummins, to Honda, to Polaris, and try to sell our vehicle to make, why is our vehicle the best, and why should they invest in our vehicle? Then we have the design judging, which is they design our concept from the beginning to the end. And we have our sales presentation, which just like the cost event, they go hand in hand, and which we try to sell our vehicle and try to, make that impression of why they want our vehicle and why they should invest in us in the future series. For our current design, the design as a whole is basically finished. Our biggest change for this year will be our powertrain system. Our powertrain system is actually going from a two-wheel drive to a four-wheel drive system, because that's what the competition is asking for. Every vehicle from this point on has to go into a four-wheel drive system. So that's one of our biggest projects right now. It has not been finalized, and it's going, step by step, a lot of research. It's a pretty big team right now, and we're trying to make it as best we can. And besides that, one of the big things that we're doing this as of now is we're trying to start putting it and assembling it together. We have very few things that we still have to manufacture, and from that point on, it would just be a matter of an assembly. That's basically what I just mentioned to you right now. And if you guys have any, interests in joining our team, I know Rodolfo will be sharing a link, a Google Doc link for you to sign up. But just for your interest, we are meeting on Fridays at 1:30 through Microsoft Teams. And if you guys want our contact info, either mine or our team captain, which is Saul Barraza, there's his contact information as well. And that's it. Any questions?
If a student is interested in joining, is it as easy as emailing one of you or just joining one of the Friday meetings?
Let me answer that, Einer.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead, Rodolfo.
So right now, because we are working remotely and we're not having any actual meetings like presentially, what we're doing is that each team is having their own MS Microsoft Teams server, and that's why we're pushing you to join our servers. Once you click the link and join, you're going to be greeted with a questionnaire in which you pick the teams that you're interested in. From there on, we're going to move you to the teams that you mentioned, and the teams are going to welcome you and start giving you some advice and how to incorporate into the team. Usually what we do for newer members, freshmen and so, is that we give them some small courses on CADing and some basic engineering knowledge so that they can start working on small projects for the car. And from there on, from what they learn in their classes and also what we teach them, usually they're able to be a team captain or a systems captain later on.
Someone asked, do you know on average how much time you have to dedicate to the student org?
In general, we try to meet, we have one general meeting a week, which is that 1:30 meeting. And besides that, how things are right now, we're planning on another extra meeting a week. But I don't think it should be, as of now, it shouldn't be anything beyond 2-3 hours. Honestly speaking, 2-3 hours a week. It's not a huge time commitment, but it's definitely something that brings a lot back.
And Kevin asked, why was it required to change from 2WD to 4WD? I don't know what that acronym means. So if you guys can
Yes, so they're asking why is it a requirement to go from two-wheel drive to four-wheel drive? I think in general, they didn't really specify why they wanted to do that. But I think what we're contemplating is they just want to see basically how innovative their student organization can be. That's really the majority scope of an answer, how innovative we can, create a powertrain system. But beyond that as well, it's to create more power, more torque as well. So by implementing a four-wheel drive system, we'll have a lot of better outputs at the end of the day.
Okay, and someone is asking, is the car powered by an electrical or gas motor?
Right now, it's a gas engine. So that one is actually provided. That's one of the few things that we cannot touch as a team. That is provided directly from Baja. It's a 10 horsepower Briggs & Stratton engine. They give us that engine, we have to work around it. And yeah.
I do believe there is another team that does have an electrical motor. So if someone is interested in working on that team, just hold tight. They'll be up soon. Yes. Sebastian is asking, how does someone become a driver?
How does someone become a driver? So in that sense, that's more towards when we're basically almost finalized with the car itself. People that have been working with us throughout the year have the opportunity to each of us drive the car. And basically, it depends on, at the end of the day, we don't really have one driver, especially because of the endurance race. We have several drivers because we're doing, multiple hundreds, tens and hundreds of laps around the track. So it gets really tiring. So what ends up happening is we have drivers for depending the event. If it's more of a traction event, you'll want a heavier driver because you want more traction on your tires. If you're going on an acceleration event, you'll want a lighter driver, if that makes sense. So at the end of the day, when we go out to the track to test, we'll start testing all of our drivers, start testing times, start testing pros and cons of having each and every driver. So we don't really have a straight answer right now. It really depends towards the end.
And I believe the driver doesn't have to be an engineer, right?
No, of course not, no. Can be from any major.
Okay, awesome. And Alexis is wondering if you guys are accepting members right now.
Yes, we're accepting members. We'll accept members at any point of the year or the semester. Just make sure to fill out that form that Rodolfo was mentioning towards the end of the presentation.
Okay, and I believe that's the one that he linked to the chat, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So that link is already in the chat. And someone is asking, do you work on aerodynamics? And if so, could you elaborate on that?
On aerodynamics itself, it's a little bit harder to take the vehicle as a whole into a lab. We don't really have access to a lab large enough, but we try to do so through software, through CAM software. So we do it. We do attempt to do it, obviously, in a more theoretical sense. We try to do it as best as possible in a theoretical sense. And then that's basically as far as we can get without having to, spend multiple thousands of dollars to get access to something like that.
And actually, our next team, the Shell team, is more focused on aerodynamics. So Miranda Lucero is going to talk more about it when we're done with Baja. Also, I wanted to mention that I'm going to be posting the link right after when the next team is done. So when one team ends presenting, I'm going to post a link again so that you don't have to scroll all the way up, okay? And yeah, all of the teams are looking for members.
I know you guys had implemented a rookie team or something like that last semester. Is that still in existence?
So
yes.
For this semester, we are going to have a rookie team, but it's not going to be the same as last semester. Usually we try to keep that as a once a year program. But like I mentioned, we are looking for rookie members, and we do know how to support them and how to incorporate them into the teams.
Okay. Sebastian is asking, is the transmission automatic or manual?
It's an automatic transmission. I'm sure he knows what I'm talking about, but has a CVT. Okay, alrighty. Well, thank you so much for all the information on Baja.
As Rodolfo mentioned, our next team is going to be from SAE as well, and they are the EcoShell Marathon team.
Thanks, Aina.
Thank you.
All right, Miranda, whenever you're ready.
Hi guys, I'm from EcoShell. I'm the representative today. Sadly, my captain couldn't be here with me today, but I hope that I can help answer a few questions and get you excited about SAE. Do you guys have the presentation or no? No, of course. Okay, let me pull something up real quick.
And sorry for not introducing myself. My name is Rodolfo Moreno, and I'm the president of SAE. So each team member can answer questions more directly towards their vehicle and their team. But if you have like a more overall question towards like the entirety of the organization, you can just ask me. Also, you can, if you have any questions, there's my email, or you can just send me a message through Microsoft Teams.
Sorry, it's taking me a little bit of a time. Okay, let me share my screen real quick. Sorry, I'm gonna go over this a little bit. So we hit EcoShell. So to introduce EcoShell in general, it's an organization that deals with mainly a three-wheeled vehicle. We have quite a big competition, as you can see by the bulleted points. There's quite a few competitions throughout the country, not just here in the US, but all over the world too. A few things about the one here in America is that we manufacture the whole vehicle by ourselves, from the design, from the manufacturing, to even modeling the vehicle. We do all on our own. Right now, currently, we are doing an electrical vehicle, and sadly, because of restrictions based on COVID, we are limited to how much we can do at the moment. So we're basically CADing at as much as we can for the design that we started on last semester. Currently, this is our design right now. Basically, as you can see in the smaller vehicle or the smaller picture to the side is how we're basically going to lay out the person. I myself am one of the drivers, being that the car has to be very light and the driver has to be light as well. The car that we're making right now is electrical, so we're working with those components. And in the back of the car, that's where we're going to have most of our components, including the engine. And as for joining the team, we currently don't have a set meeting time. We kind of go based on availability, based on when we can meet up, what time's good for everyone. And we basically separate into 4 to 3 different groups. And the captains of those groups meet up once in a while, and every so often we'll hold a actual meeting for everybody. But if you guys would like to join this group, you can contact me or any of the members from EcoShell. Basically, we'll send you I'll send in the chat mine and my captain's email if you guys are interested. And that's basically all I have.
Miranda, can you tell us more about what's your role on the team? What you work on, what you design?
So when I first joined, I was basically, we do have a competition. We mainly go, last year we were supposed to go to California to compete. It is EcoShell Marathon. That's the one we participate in. It's sanctioned by, well, EcoShell, of course, but the location changes every so often. We have set guidelines and everything at the beginning of the year, which specifically tells us what we need to do to join the competition. As for my role, when I first joined, I was mainly a person that helped with the manufacturing. We were doing prototypes with fiberglass and just trying to mold it or get our female mold, and work with the foam in order to shape our vehicle, because we weren't going to have really a frame in our vehicle. It was more going to sit as like a shell. But as of right now, I'm working on the CAD design based on where our windows are going to be, because they need to be able to see not only the driver being able to drive, but also all our components in the back for testing purposes when we get to the competitions.
And do you think you can tell us more about the aerodynamics of the car? I've seen one of your members work on them and actually like making the shell of the car having a coefficient of friction as low as possible so that it helps you get as more miles as possible. Do you think you can tell us more about that?
So those calculations were based on our CAD design. What we did is we engineered a software on Fusion 360, which is a program we use for the CAD. And we basically show the aerodynamics and base on FEA analysis to kind of factor in all the cuts we need to do to our vehicle and our models in order to kind of help us understand like the aerodynamics, the drag force that we need to hold on the car. We also backtracked those with hand calculations later on, but we just need it for the base design. We did it all through data analysis.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Are there any questions?
Oops.
Someone in the chat is asking, which AutoCAD software are you using and how many motors are you putting in the car?
Sorry, one moment. So right now we are only using one AutoCAD because we are sponsored by them right now, which is Fusion 360. And we are only currently using one motor in the back of the car. It is quite a big motor, and it is electrical.
Okay, so I'm going to be posting the link to the Microsoft Teams again. I'm going to be adding you to the Microsoft Teams once our presentations are over, and then you're going to get access to the questionnaire.
Sebastian is asking, will the vehicle be two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive?
So it's actually going to be 3. It has 2 in the front and then 1 in the back. The one in the back is our biggest wheel that we have on the car. It's actually part of the motor and right next to the motor. It's the it's the wheel that's basically going to be helping steering the car as much as possible.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions before we move on? We still have 5 minutes, so we still have time, but if not, we can just move forward to another SAE team. Alrighty, thank you so much, Miranda.
Thanks, Miranda.
Do we have our Lombardi representatives ready?
Yes, I'm here.
Perfect.
Okay.
Natalie, you're just in every organization.
Tell me about it. Okay, so this is us. We are the formula segment for the SAE chapter, the SAE Utep chapter. We are named after Leila Lombardi. She is the first female in the history of Formula One to score world championship points in the 1975 Grand Prix.
Hold on, I'm so sorry. Natalie, are you sharing your screen?
Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I don't think we're seeing it on our end.
Here we go.
There it is.
Okay. So yes, we are named after Leila Lombardi. She is the first female in the history of Formula One championship to score points in the 1975 Grand Prix. And to my knowledge, she is one of the only and last female Formula One drivers that we know of in the history of Formula One racing. And the Lombardi FSAE team is basically just focused on project management, the necessary technical critical thinking skills, and reasoning behind the entire engineering of all the components, the chassis design, even components that we do not design ourselves. We do still need to basically test our knowledge and how our vehicle will actually benefit from these products that we are not going to be engineering. But aside from that, we do at least 75% of our vehicle is engineered by the entire team. We have several teams just focused on the chassis, the suspension, the actual prototype of the vehicle, and the manufacturing process. I am the manufacturing engineer for the team this semester and for the previous semester as well. And like I said, a lot of this team is really just based on testing our skills and actually putting a pen to a paper and making it come to life. And we are, so far, to our knowledge, the first formula team to race on behalf of Utep and in this region. So far, our team is actually just comprised of undergraduate students, and this is just a very diverse field of students studying different engineering disciplines, and also including business majors as well, which have helped us greatly with our budgeting and basically the execution of this entire project. And basically, we are going to be competing in the CDS, which is the design series for the National SAE competition in California this semester, for the first time, to our knowledge, on behalf of the region and on behalf of UTEP. So basically, we built mostly everything from the ground up. Like I said, we actually will be purchasing other parts just to budget constraints, but these parts were actually decided upon just initial trade-offs and whatnot based off of our own designs and the actual rules and guidelines that we need to follow for the SAE Collegiate Design Series competition. And we will actually be competing against big universities such as Harvard and Brown, and even universities from across the globe. So we're very excited to be competing this year for the first time. And throughout the team dynamics, basically what we focus on is not just the design, but also professional development. We have had guest speakers in the past do presentations to actually help our engineers basically manage the project better and also give them connections to these people who they might have the opportunity to work with in the future. And below, this was our little prototype. It's a little rough, but this was just to make sure that we were going to be able to fit our drivers correctly. So our budget is a little constrained, so that's why it's made out of wood. However, basically our main goal is to pass the technical inspection, which will dictate whether or not we will be able to fully compete, which it will be at the competition itself. So having this prototype done prior to the competition, it was actually very important. And this is not the current version. We are still currently perfecting our prototype design before we can actually start welding, which this weekend we are actually going to go ahead and start welding the first components of our chassis. And this is some of the team. It's not all of it, but we actually do have a very large team. It is at least 30 members at the moment, but the softwares that we use are, of course, MS Office, MS Team, and MATLAB. Optimum G software, which we use to help us design the suspension points in the system, and also Common Sense, and of course the SolidWorks CAD software. These are uprights. These are not the current version. However, the current version of the uprights is now complete, and we'll be seeing those within the next 2 weeks. And for anyone who's interested in joining, you basically just need to have a lot of drive and ambition to better yourself as an engineer and as a person, and you just be able to work in groups with different types of people, with different personalities and different experience, and basically just be able to trade off the knowledge that you have along with other people and their knowledge they can offer you. And the time expected to actually participate in this team is at least 3 hours a week minimum. And, you know, this is a very important project to our team at the moment. Again, like I mentioned, we will be one of the first, or if not the first, in the region to compete on behalf of the formula segment. So this project has truly been built from the ground up. So we have like a pretty high standard as far as our members. So we do like to have very ambitious people on the team. And personally, I've gained a lot from this team, not only just in my technical skills, but also my critical thinking skills, and also even my people skills and my presentation skills, which I'm also still working on. I do want to have a little bit more of a perfected presentation for our team, so that way we can make SAE proud and also the department proud in June when we actually compete. But you'll also gain a lot of hands-on experience. We will be manufacturing everything by hand. We have a lead welder who has 10 years of welding experience, who is also a student at the University of Texas at El Paso. He is a mechanical engineering major, and he will be a big part in helping us complete the chassis components on the next coming weeks. And also, this is a very competitive project, so we always want to make sure you have your voice heard. Since this is a fairly new project that is being built from the ground up, having that competitive edge and really just having that drive and that motive to actually implement your own knowledge, and just basically not letting anything stop you from implementing your own ideas into such a big project, because a lot of us kind of tend to hold back, especially when we're intimidated from these big types of projects. But and this isn't the type of project where you have the need to hold back any of your ideas. We're always open to a lot of different creative development, different creative new designs to actually help us in the process of creating a successful formula style vehicle. And basically, these are our previous members and current members. They have a lot of success just basically from joining the team. We have our DAC team lead. She was part of the team from 2019 to 2020. She actually did co-ops for Toyota and Apple. And Cynthia Garcia, she is the founder of the Formula Project. She was the president from 2017 to 2018. She currently works at Lockheed Martin as a system integration and test engineer. And then our chief of finance, Alexander Appelsolzer, he works for Delta Airlines and repair process engineer. And he was part of Formula between 2017 and 2018. Our current chief engineer is Eduardo Ochoa, and he is going to be working with Lockheed Martin as a satellite systems engineer. And he is still currently part of the team and will be a big part of the manufacturing process as well. Nayeli Ontiveros, she was our our former president. She was the president between 2018 and 2020. And she is currently working with, she will be working with Lockheed Martin as a project engineer and has actually interned with Lockheed Martin in the past. And these are just some of the info sessions that the department is going to be hosting. The Tesla info session, and we have also Honda, SpaceX, and Canoe. And that's basically it.
Thank you, Natalie. I can see Eduardo Ochoa answering some questions in the chat, but just for the sake of recording, it doesn't necessarily record the chat. So do you mind answering these questions audibly? So the first one is, will new members get the opportunity to be part of the competition?
It really just depends. I mean, if you are involved in the team, then of course, you know, because of the COVID guidelines, it's kind of a little hard to say whether the competition, you know, is going to be 100% guaranteed this year. However, with everything, the way the year has been laid out for us, we're very hopeful that we will be able to go compete. But if you are a dedicated member, then yes, more than, of course, you will be included in the competition.
Thank you. David asked, in general, is it cheaper to buy or build the parts needed for the project?
It really varies by the part. Honestly, there's like so many tiny components that cost so much money to make versus manufacture. It really just depends. That's where our trade-offs come in, and basically our critical thinking skills. We really want to assess from the business aspect and what our budget is. So it really varies by part, to be honest.
And I'd like to add to that Eduardo's answer. So he said in the chat, most of our parts will be manufactured in-house since it is a lot cheaper. This gives us the opportunity to learn how to use machines like CNCs and other cool things. So that's true. If you do build it yourself, it does give you that hands-on learning experience that you're advertising. And then Kevin asked, do you also use 3D printed parts?
Yes, so we will actually, since we are currently finishing up our prototype and working on practice welds this weekend, and we're actually even welding our own custom welding table, which is custom to our Formula style vehicle, which our chief engineer Eddie designed. So yes, we are going to be using 3D printed parts. This is also going to help us with our prototype. And yes, of course, we can go ahead and send the email. You can email any one of us, just like Eddie and I. And I'll also put the president's email.
Natalie, do you think you can also elaborate, since you are the manufacturing lead of the team, on the challenges of designing and manufacturing a part for a car? Because it's not only about designing it and then it works. You also have to do it for you to be able to manufacture it with the tools that we have.
Well, there is a lot of, I guess, sorry, my cat is screaming. I'm so sorry if you can hear him. But basically, there's just a lot behind it. Speaking from the business aspect, that's kind of where our trade-offs come from. We just basically need to assess our materials, how they are available locally, where we can actually manufacture them, and what access we currently have to these machines, like Eddie was saying, like a CNC machine, lathe, and even just a welder. We barely just established where we're going to weld, but because of the time constraints, we're just trying to get on the ball. So it's a very extenuous process between the design trade-offs as well as the organization of the entire manufacturing process as a whole.
Thank you for
Okay.
that explanation, Natalie. Someone is asking, how will the development of the car be carried out during COVID? And can we be helpful and involved while working from home?
Absolutely. We actually still have some minor parts that are in their final iterations, so we would love input on, and also we would love to give back to new members and have them start developing those critical thinking skills in the design developmental process. So this is actually going to be a very strict schedule. We will only have up to 4 people maximum in the shop, and the shop that we have will be outdoors. So, but it is going to be in a protective setting, so our parts are going to be protected at all times. And like I said, I mean, you are more than welcome to join us to our general meetings. I actually would like to invite anybody interested to our general meetings. They are on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They are at 7. And we'll go ahead and have the meeting link posted below, or in the message chat as well.
We have another question. How much does it cost to create the model?
Well, the prototype, we've roughly spent about $100 total, and this is with donations and also equipment and tools that we already had that we've had to utilize just with the pandemic and everything that's going on. We just have more, I guess, less access to these types of tools and materials than we anticipated because of COVID. But for the prototype, it costs around $100, and then for the actual vehicle, our budget has to be at least at $7,000 to $8,000. So that's just with the materials included, as well as any use of the machine shops that we may or may not rent that will charge by the hour. And it's just a lot of detail in between there. Just the manufacturing process, as well as the shops that we'll be renting and the actual components and materials of the vehicle.
Thank you for that, Natalie. Someone else just asked, are you working with a hybrid engine?
So it's actually an internal combustion engine, and it's actually a bike engine. It's a Honda bike engine.
Does anybody else have any questions? We still technically have 3 minutes left on the session.
I want to elaborate on something that Natalie said. So basically, we all of the teams have had hands-on experience working on the cars, learning how to use tools, learning how to design to use that tools. But also, I think what's really important is that you also get to develop soft skills. That is leading a group of engineers, how to talk to them, how to manage them, also how to be part of a team, how to follow a leader, and all that stuff. That's what really separates being in SAE from, I think, just being on the mechanical engineering career. You get all those different skills that, like Natalie showed, employers do really look at. You can just look at how many of our former members get internships or job offers or all that stuff. So I think that is a really good upside on joining, and not only SAE, but student organization.
Yes, exactly. 100% agree. I've grown tremendously since joining this team, and it would not just be by myself. It's also with the help of my team members who have also grown tremendously since they have joined the team. We all just kind of work together to make this big project happen, and we really just hope to make SAE proud and also represent our small Utep community in such a big competition.
I know for sure you guys also get experience on learning how to present your idea and how to present your projects and kind of propose as to why you should continue moving forward with your designs. So I know each team will definitely get some feedback based on the designs that they receive by the department or whatever advisor you have on your team. Alrighty, well, thank you so much, Natalie. We are going to close out the Lombardi session and move over to our last SAE team, This is SAE Aero, so if we could please have the Aero representative get started.
Thanks, Annalie.
Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Let me get this PowerPoint going here. Can you see it? Go through. Okay, my name is Steven. I'm the captain of the Utep SE Aero team here at Utep. So we're an organization who builds and designs aircraft to the specific requirements for competition. So this year, our competitions, the main goal of it is to create a bush plane, which means carry heavy weight with a short takeoff. So we got to carry 3 full-size soccer balls. We carry as much extra weight as we can, and we have to take off and land within 100 feet. And also with that, the shorter the wingspan, the more points we get. But we have up to 120-inch wingspan to work with, which is a lot. And you can, the bigger the wing, the easier it is. On this team here, you'll learn how to create, design, and build an RC aircraft, as well as learn mechanical design, structural analysis, aerodynamics, and manufacturing techniques, which are very important because you can design an airplane all you want, but unless you know how to build the insides of it and actually build the structure, the shell doesn't really mean anything. So that's the part that a lot of people will probably struggle with, as it's not a skill that is very easy to learn. It takes a little bit of time, and just knowing what you were doing is a big part of it. So these are steps that we take. We design and we do CADing as much as we can. And then we do our data analysis. So we do a lot of CFD analysis. We got to calculate the drag force, lift force, drag coefficient. You can find the center of pressure, center of gravity. All this we do as much as we can before we manufacture, because we want this as close to perfect for when we start manufacturing. Because when we start manufacturing, it's kind of hard to make a major design change in the aircraft itself. So we do a lot of attention to detail on the design and CADing aspect of it before we start manufacturing. Manufacturing, we normally do that in the design studio. However, due to COVID, we don't have access to that right now. So it makes it very hard to manufacture. And actually, I am the one manufacturing the airplane right now for the team. And the team is doing all the CADing, the analysis, and creating the design report. I wish it wasn't like that. I wish we could have gone to the design studio and I can show everybody and teach everybody how to design an aircraft. I've kind of been designing, building, and flying RC models for over 14 years. And then the last step is our testing, experimental testing that we do. We do it out. In Horizon, there's an RC airfield that we have access to, that I've gained access to through the House Hobby Shop here in El Paso. And they have allowed us to go out there and do our testing, which is very, very important. Because if we need to make any sort of changes to the aircraft, any weight distribution changes or anything like that, you'll know right away. Because if the plane's out of balance, it will not fly more than 3 seconds before it crashes. So that's very important. It's also very fun, though. Very, very exciting stuff. We do use Autodesk Fusion 360 a lot. That's all we use for right now for the CADing. And it's very easy, any kind of video or YouTube is very well known, so you're not gonna have trouble trying to find anything that you're looking for or any parameter or whatever that may be. So we do use that one a lot, and that's all we use. If you do know SolidWorks already, you can use that. It's no big deal, whatever you're more comfortable with. So these are just a few of the iterations we have of the old aircraft. We haven't updated the new aircraft yet that we're working on this year. But these are just a few of the CAD models. The testing and analysis, we use ANSYS Discovery Live. We use that very, very heavy. We have one of our members, Alberto Mesa. He is extremely smart and knows this stuff like the back of his hand. And a few minutes with this guy and you could be able to do all the CFD analysis, in minutes. He's very smart And these are just some of the skills that we will need to know for the future in our airplane before we start building it. Like I said, we want to get as close to perfect before we start manufacturing. We design airfoils. So the airfoil that we designed for our aircraft is designed for high lift. That's why it has this pretty big arc in it. It creates the most amount of lift. We do the ANSYS live, it's all about the Bernoulli's principle. A lot of the formulas and stuff that you actually use in your fluid classes, we actually implement them here. So this is just design of the tail section, airfoil for the wings. Okay, and then the manufacturing part, we build it out of balsa wood, most of it out of balsa wood and basswood. However, this year, we are focusing more on 3D printing. So for the wings here, I have some here, I'll show you in a little bit. We are 3D printing all of the ribs to try to make it lighter, more efficient ways than using balsa wood. Balsa wood is perfect, it works great, but if you need somebody to CNC it and you don't have that available, it's pretty hard. And so if you have a 3D printer, it's a lot more easier and a lot more quicker for us to do it that way. And like I said, the fuselage design, we had to model it to carry 3 full-size soccer balls. And so that was a little tough, but it did work, and it did serve its purpose. So in that aspect, the fuselage is actually the hardest part for me. It's because you just have so much unknowns. The fuselage is built based off of the wing design and the tail section design. And that's how you design the fuselage. So that's why it makes it very tricky and very intricate. As far as manufacturing, the last step, we use a monocoat to do the covering of the aircraft. It's what gives it its airtight seal. And finished product here is the aircraft from last semester. And we actually were able to test fly it, and it did fly. And if it wasn't for COVID, I feel like we would have had a very good chance to win the competition last year. And as far as the competition this year is going to be in California, April 9th through the 11th. And there is no reason why we shouldn't win. We're honestly not there to compete. We're there to win. And there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to do that this year. This is my email. Our meeting times are every Friday at 4 p.m. on Microsoft Teams. We usually do just a quick briefing. Right now, we're really focusing on getting the design report ready for March to be submitted. That's our main focus at the moment. And yeah, that is it for that. That's all I kind of went through that as quick as I could. And as far as the 3D printing here, like some of the airfoils that we have 3D printed. So we're trying to do a lot more 3D printed. It adds up for a lot more precision. So you have less discrepancies, less wing deflection. It'll help with the overall structure of the aircraft. The 3D printing, a lot of little things like hinges, servo covers, there's a servo in it, put under the wing, stuff like that. We've been trying to use a lot more 3D printed parts this year.
We have some questions in the chat. Is the flight course challenge similar to the AIAA design build flight comp?
I think I've heard that. I'm really not too familiar with that actually, so I really couldn't tell you. Honestly, I couldn't. I've heard about it. I think someone asked that question last time we did this too, and I just wasn't too sure.
That's okay. What about the materials you use for additive manufacturing or 3D printing of parts?
For the 3D printing, we use PLA or ASA, whichever one's more, that you have at your disposal. There's no special material that we use. Just the basic ASA, PLA materials they can get pretty much anywhere or any place would have them.
And how do you combine the printed material versus the other type of manufactured material?
So the other type of manufactured material, well, all of it is with balsa wood. So if we didn't 3D print, we would have to make these ribs out of 1/8 thick balsa wood. But now they're using the ASA, PLA. It's almost pretty much the same thing. The same glue that we have a special CA super glue, specifically just for aircraft, and it works flawlessly. There's not really any big like we don't have to use any kind of special material or adhesive to get the 3D printed parts to connect to the wood materials.
What about if a graduate student is interested in joining?
Yes, we actually have a few graduate students on our team, and also consulting that we consult with to help out. And so, I mean, our team right now consists of 7-8 members. We're a very small team. And so there's plenty of work to be delegated and to go around. And you'll still probably learn a lot of new skills, very interesting as well.
Stephen, and what about a freshman that hasn't taken the fluids class yet? How would you incorporate him into the team? Okay, so there is a lot of other things, like the 3D. We have a 3D printing team that literally focuses on, like I said, like the servo doors. These are pretty, simple to make. And if it's your first time using Fusion 360, a little part like this, give you a few skills on Autodesk Fusion that you can learn. And then being a part of the meetings, we kind of tend to elaborate not just on what we're doing, but on why we're doing it. And so you'll learn, even if you don't understand it, being a part of it and hearing it. So when you hear it in class, or you can even probably learn it on your own, you could pick it up really quickly. Anybody taking the fluid mechanics? We use a lot of fluid mechanics in this class. Mm-hmm. We use a lot of fluid mechanics in this organization here. And it's you get real life applications with that as far as the CFD analysis.
Manuel is asking, do you have open spots to join your CAD design team?
Yes, we do. We actually have 2 people right now, but we're always looking for more people just to learn the skills, because even for next year, because the people that are there this year probably won't be there next year, and you can be able to take over even the team lead for that aspect if you're really, really good at it and really want to learn. Is that, and then also you learn, I'm very passionate about airplanes. So if you wanted to, learn how to fly, I have RC simulators and we can teach you how to fly. Because right now I'm the only pilot we have, and we need more pilots, for the future. And so that's a big, big aspect that we need filled, a big spot that we need filled.
How is the aircraft powered for liftoff?
So right now we're using a Power 60 motor. It's a brushless motor. It's all electric. It's all electric on this one. We have a 6S LiPo battery that actually powers all the electronics and powers the motor. We do use RC radios. It's all, remote controlled, using 2.4 receivers. And so the batteries kind of is our main power source that we use. We all have a power limiter on the aircraft. They do that just so all the aircraft have the same exact power. So you can't, buy the biggest battery, the best motor, and just have an overpowered aircraft. So that's when it comes to the design, which is very important to utilize all of all the power that we do have.
Okay, and I believe Rodolfo's gonna paste that Google sheet right in the chat. So if anyone's interested in joining, Stephen did show that slide with his email address. So Stephen, I don't know if you could also type that in the chat just in case. But for those who are interested in this team, just reach out to Stephen, make sure you fill out that Google Doc so you can move forward with a questionnaire. Alrighty, if no one else has any questions for Stephen, then I think we can close out all of SAE and move forward. So thank you so much, Stephen. Thank you so much, Rodolfo. You guys are awesome. Up next we have Mais and Ship.
Well, good afternoon. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can see and hear both of you.
Can you guys see me and hear me too?
Yes.
Yes, we will.
All right. Can you share the presentation, Eduardo?
Yes.
Perfect.
Sharing the screen right now.
There we go.
Oh, it's presenting on the other side. Swap. All right. There we go. Can you see the first slide?
Yes.
Perfect. If you like to start, Hugo.
All right. So my ship, we have a time constraint of about 15 minutes, so we're gonna try to do things quick and try to keep up. All right. So Maya ship. What is Maya ship? Can you go to the next slide, Toto? All right. So basically, we're
I think your audio is cutting out.
Hugo, your audio is it's cutting a lot, so I'll take over until it fixes because we're unable to understand you. So what Hugo was saying is that we are a joint organization. We are part of two national organizations, MAES, which is Latinos in Engineering Science, which used to be Mexican American Engineering Engineering and Science, but it changed to Latinos to be more inclusive. And it is slash Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. That's who we are. Our main focus is the professional development on students and help them succeed on getting their first big opportunity, first job, first offer for an internship, go up, and also to sharpen those skills on interviews as well as elevator speeches and resumes. We'll go to the next slide. This is the executive board we have currently. We have a very large team, and besides the executive board, we have also the leadership board that is formed by one graduate student and mostly freshmen and sophomore students, which we are helping to build skills on leadership overall. So here we have Hugo de la Garza. He's the president, and I'm the vice president, Eduardo Reaza. Here's our information contact. If you like to reach out to us, but I'll get moving for now. As we explained, we are main oriented on the professional growth. And here's one example of our events that are like conferences. This is SHIP National. I don't know if many of you went this 2019, not the 2020 because it was virtual, but the 2019, it was huge. A lot of Utep students. It was very overwhelming, and we offer help sponsorship to the students that want to come to these conferences. Many of these students, they are also prepared by us and the Career Center, and they ended up landing their dream job and offers. So we can help you with all that. As well, we manage different kind of activities. Semesters in the past, we do activities such as the La Discada, which we cook taquitos and stuff like that. It's pretty cool, pretty fun. As well, we do another activities such as game night where we used to start playing Among Us and stuff like that, just to have a fun night. This is one of the other activities we offer. There's many more activities as well as professional activities or events where we invite companies. I think there's a slide further on. We also have been awarded on this last SHIP National Convention in 2019. As I said, the setting for the 2020 was way much different. But then we were awarded the Ship Regional Chapter of the Year and Ship Chapter Excellence Award. And these were pretty big awards since this is a national conference where all universities from all over the country were. Here's, if you are interested, I highly encourage you to scan pretty quick the QR code. I will take you to the Slack channel. If you're unfamiliar on how to utilize Slack, it is a messaging app that you can have on your computer or phone. And there's also a channel there that is called Slack support. So you can ask us for help if you are having a hard time figuring out the Slack channel. We do have a membership fee. This membership fee is of $10 local, and there's the national fee for $10. The national fee will unlock you the prices for an active member. So instead of paying $130 for a conference, you're paying $35. That's one of the examples. As well, you're eligible to the well, you'll fulfill one of the requirements for the scholarships offered as a SHIP member. So there's a lot of benefits on this, and as well, I know that there's many Utep scholars on SHIP. So take advantage of this. Stay connected. This is our social medias. Utep MyShip on Instagram is the most active account that we have, along with Slack, where we have over 100 students joined. And we started Slack this year, so we have been pretty active. Events, upcoming events. We're gonna have another event with Tesla. This will be setting of info session and recruiting event. We'll have a resume book for our members that are interested in applying to Tesla. And this event, actually, we just got the date, which will be February 17. Follow us in our social media to get the flyers, the QR code for the resume book. I can show you that information later. And also, we are focusing on making more social events as in Netflix. So that's who we are. We are Mice and Sheep. I went pretty fast and I left out a lot of things, but feel free to ask anything you like. I don't know.
Someone asked, what is the price for graduate students?
For graduate students, I think actually for graduate students, it should be the same, $10. If not, it would be $5 extra, so 15. But I'm unsure if I'm confused. I'm not sure if I'm mistaking that fee for another. So I would say 10 should be about it. I'm trying to find the chat. Sorry. Perfect.
All right. I think that what Toto is meaning that is that the local membership is $10, but the national fee is where things get a little bit tricky. We don't actually know if for graduate students, which are considered professional students, already taking on a higher fee as a national fee. So for our means and purposes, local fee is $10, and if you're an undergraduate student, it's also $10 for the national fee. But for the graduate students who are considered professionals already, they are considered, I think, around $5 or $10 more for the national fee.
And do they pay this fee every year, every semester? How does it work?
The fee for the local membership is for the entire year, and the fee for the national fee is also for the entire year. I think it's a little bit over a year. I think it's like 420 something days.
I have the information for graduate students. It is $15, $5 more, and that's for the national fee. The local fee is $10 throughout all the school. I see another of the questions. Where do the conference take place? There's many conferences that, with main focus on Latino students and leadership and professional development. I had the opportunity to went to Florida for HINAC conference, Ship National in Phoenix. I also went to HINAC on 2018 in California, in Pasadena, California. I also went to RLDC on San Antonio. I was going to go to the one on Louisiana RLDC, but we ended up deciding not going to that conference due to, we were running out of time and classes and stuff, and we decided to better not. But these conferences take place all over the place. So if you also like to get an offer as well to travel, I mean, this is a great opportunity. This year, the conferences have been virtual. Therefore, they have been more cheap, and you can get an internship offer or the same opportunities just for cheaper. So that's pretty cool too. So that's that. We also have a conference coming on, correct me if I'm mistaken, but on March. So there's a career fair.
Yes, it's gonna be on March 18th.
Perfect. So it's a really good opportunity, and that one is virtual, and it's $35 early fee. Late fee is $50, and the deadline is February 16, if I'm not mistaken.
We actually just had our first meeting yesterday, so if you join us in the Slack channel, the presentation as to what the topics were of the conference and the Tesla info sessions are going to be in the presentation that is going to be uploaded to the Slack channel. So please be sure to keep up with that if you're interested in joining the organization.
As well, there's a question on how can you join. My most recommended way is through Utep membership on Instagram. Over there, there's links on how to join the Slack group, and there's like stories with information on what to do. So it's pretty helpful. So you can go over there and find out pretty easily. And there's also this QR code. So if you have your phone and you're not looking at the meeting on your phone, you can scan it. So yeah, any other questions?
I don't have a question, but I just want to reiterate to everyone that some of these student orgs, a common theme is that you don't necessarily have to be a mechanical engineering major. Especially for my SINship, it's open to all engineering majors. So if you're hesitant to join something by yourself, definitely grab a friend if they're a fellow engineer, and that way you can join together. So it's a little less intimidating. Someone asked, how can someone become a more active member?
Perfect. In that case, to be more active, I would recommend you to, oh, sorry, I've been talking a lot. Go ahead, Hugo.
I was just gonna say the same thing. You can just attend the events that we propose and be active on our Slack channel. That's how you can become a more active member. So for next year, there's actually gonna be the SHIP National Conference, which is gonna be happening tentatively. It is gonna be in Orlando, Florida. So be sure to keep up with those events because we do have a point system where the more events that you attend and the more active you are in the organization, the more points you get. And if you're one of the top 10 students that does get the more points, usually gets the entire conference ticket for free. And that's pretty neat. For previous years, the ticket was like $350, and this year it was $120 because of the natural concurrent events, right? So that's how you can become a more active member in Mayaship.
As well, elections are coming, so if you join and be active, you can also apply for the elections that will be taking place in about 2 months. You can become an officer for the organization. It's a lot of work and it's very rewarding. I can guarantee you that being here helps you a lot on getting those opportunities. Well, at least a lot of us are looking for internships, co-ops, professional development opportunities, pretty much networking, and as well a lot of fun since we have a pretty good environment and we like to create this familia vibra where you feel comfortable. But yeah.
Thank you so much, you guys. With that, we'll end my internship. Thank you again, and we will move forward with Pi Tau Sigma. So, you know how I just said you don't have to be an ME major? Well, for Pi Tau Sigma, it's probably the only one that you do. So we could get our Pi Tau Sigma reps up and running.
Yes. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
And see me? Okay. Hello, let me go ahead and start my presentation. Okay, is everyone able to see the slideshow?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So just to get started, we are Pi Tau Sigma, which is, like Myra said, we are the Mechanical Engineering Honor Society here at Utep. And we're going to go ahead and start off by introducing our officers. My name is Angela Torres, and I am the president.
My name is Juan del Real, and I'm the vice president.
My name is Diego Limon, and I'm the treasurer.
Pardon me, I was muted. And my name is Ismael, and I'm the secretary.
All right, guys, so this is Diego here, and I will be briefly covering the activities that we have done in the past. So first, we have volunteered at the Salvation Army, and this was a great experience as we were able to stay involved within our community, and it gave us the opportunity to meet new people. Next, we had the virtual initiation. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic this year, our initiation was virtual, and even though our next initiation will be virtual as well, we will do our best to make it fun and exciting for everyone. And another activity that we have done was TMC Day at Utep. And for those who don't know, this is the longest running tradition on campus where participants unite to remember the university's roots of mining and engineering. And this included team building activities where throughout the day it kept students, faculty, and staff around the campus engaged in various challenges. And the last one was the virtual raffle. This event was great as it gave we gave out prizes and we managed to raise funds for the organization. And with that being said, I'll pass it on to Juan.
So hello guys, this is Juan. So some of the benefits for joining Pi Tau Sigma, among others, is networking. So as my colleague said, it's a really good opportunity to meet new people as long as professionals. Another a good benefit is it's a great topic started. So you have experience talking to recruiters among interviews that always ask you about your life, your personal experience. So it's a really good time about talking about yourself, about how you want to be more involved with your program, with your university. Also, it's in case your resume at the time the recruiter is looking at it. And as I said before, to meet new people and to become more united to the university. Yep.
Okay, for upcoming activities regarding our organization, one of the topics that has been covered is the career fair tomorrow from 9 to 3 p.m. I just wanted to point out that being a part of an honor society helps you to stand out. If you know how to sell it, it will keep you a little bit on on top of the other competition, for a lack of words. So joining any organization is really good for your resume. So take that into consideration and try to change your resume a little bit. And the most closest event that we have is the Utep Food Pantry donations. We still have to decide on the time, but the Utep Food Pantry donation accepts non-perishable items, and the food pantry is located on the Memorial Gym, room 105 during hours of operation, this being normal hour operation from like 8 to 5. Donations can be also made through Amazon. The link can be found in this link, or just type Utep food pantry on Google, and that will be one of the first results. And also monetary donations can also be made at the same website above. So please help out with the Utep food pantry, because sadly a lot of people having troubles due to the ongoing pandemic, and this could help the community a lot. So also more events to be added throughout the semester, so be in the lookout for that if you join the organization. That'll be all for me. Thank you.
Alrighty, guys. So next we're going to go ahead and talk about our point system, just in general for now, just so you can get an idea on how our honor study does work. So our point system unfortunately has changed due to COVID. Previous semesters we did have a few more events throughout the semester, and that made the point system be a little bit higher than what it is now. But we're still trying to get our way around that and, you know, participate in things. And we still are going to have these three type of categories, I guess you could say, is so first will be our community service event, which is 3 points per event. The professional development, which is going to be 3 points per event as well. And then we do have our social event, which is 2 points per event, leading up to 8 points total, which is needed to get your stole and your regalia at the end of the semester, or when you graduate, but at the end of the semester, whichever. But yeah, that's our point system. And then, did it freeze? Are you all still able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so on how to join, our applications will be sent out via email. It's a simple application. Just asks for your name, your classification, and things like that, as well as an attachment of your resume. Once we review your resume and your application, we'll go ahead and determine if we think you are suited for joining the Honor Society. There also is a $50 fee. It is a one-time fee, but this does include your stole, your regalia, and your national membership. If you haven't seen your application in your email or anything like that, please feel free to go ahead and reach out to either of these emails, and we'll be more than happy to send them out to you. And at the end of the presentation, we'll have the emails attached as well.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about how the application works. So we'll begin accepting applications on February 8th, and the last day to submit the application will be the 15th at 11:59 p.m. And if you haven't received an application, or if you need anything else from us, like any questions, you can contact any of us, any of the officers, and we will be happy to help you with any question that you may have about the application, about the payment, about anything that you may have a question about. And thank you.
All right, so in closing, well, just to kind of reiterate, please don't hesitate to contact us or ask us any questions that you may have after this presentation. But for now, here are our emails. You can email any one of us. And with that being said, that concludes our presentation, and we will open it up to questions. And I see that we already have one. It is, when is the next TMC or TMC day, TCM?
So I believe there is going to be a meeting later on this evening for some officers, and they're going to go ahead and discuss the TCM day within that meeting. So once we get that information, we'll go ahead and send that out as well. And I'm sure the department will go ahead and send out a mass email in regards to that as well.
Thank you. Brenda is asking if there's a GPA requirement.
We do require a 3.0 minimum GPA. You're welcome.
Someone
Juan,
asked,
do you want to answer?
oh, go ahead. You can read out the question.
So they're asking, what can you do to get better chances of joining?
So to get better chances to join in, as we said before, just send us a resume of your previous experience, and as well as your GPA. Also, you can send us a brief paragraph about why you want to join and what do you expect to gain from this organization, and basically it will be why you want to be part of Pi Tau Sigma, and that can tell us an idea of why you want to be part of us, and it can improve your chances to join, not only sending your resume and saying, yeah, you just want to be part because I like the idea of these organizations. Yeah, something like that will improve your chances.
Right. Yes, the GPA is the only requirement. I did see that question there, but that's the only requirement. We pretty much accept almost everyone, honestly, because we want to give everyone that opportunity of joining our honor society, because we do know that it's important to your resume and things like that. It looks really well, and our community service events are super helpful, and we're just very community based as well.
So we have another question. So to answer the fee per semester is one payment only. It's a $50 payment, and it's only payable one time. So it's not per semester, per year. It's
like a lifelong membership.
Yeah, like until you graduate.
Yeah.
And we have another question. So, can you get accepted as a freshman? Yeah. You can be accepted as a freshman.
Yes, graduate students as well can join. Yeah. Juan is actually a graduate, and Jesus.
We have another one.
You're welcome.
All right. So as we mentioned before, if you have any other questions, maybe you forget about it right now, but as long the week, you can send us an email. Don't hesitate to send us any question you may have, and we will be happy to answer those doubts that you may have about the organization, or how can this organization help you improve your skills or your engineering. What was I saying? So yeah, just send us anything that you may want to ask us, and we will be happy to help you.
Yes, and then the applications will be sent out on this Monday, the 8th, and then they will be due that Friday, the 12th. So from the 8th until the 12th, you'll have the opportunity to submit your applications and everything like that. I will go ahead and send out a mass email with that application.
Alrighty, we have one more minute left. Does anyone else have any questions? Oh, what do the points get you again?
They get you your stole, and your regalia.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Angela and team.
Okay, thank you so much, Myra.
To answer your question, Luis, stoles and regalia are essentially what you wear at graduation. So if you see people that have things hanging around their neck, it's probably because they earned it in some type of student organization. And so in order to look cool at graduation, you essentially have to make sure you earn that stole So by participating and getting points with Pi Tau Sigma, it'll count towards your STOL so that by the time you graduate, you've earned enough points that you can have that STOL for graduation. All right, next we are going to move forward with ASME. So if you all have your rep.
Hi, Myra, can you hear me?
Hey, Mario, yes.
Awesome. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Let me just keep the microphone open. Okay, well, welcome everyone. My name is Mario Perez and I'll be president of ASME, and our presentation will entail some of the things that we do here at ASME, and we'll get things started. If you're interested in joining without any previous background, just go ahead and scan that QR code. And if you're still skeptical, I hope that by the end of the presentation, we can convince you to join. So next slide, please.
All right. Hello, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Hello, everyone. My name is Alejandro Beltran, and I'm the Vice President for ASME. So first, we want to present ourselves. What is ASME? Well, ASME is the American Society for Mechanical Engineers here at Utep. So one of our focus is on developing our students, especially the mechanical engineering students, but we're not going to turn down any other engineering majors on our events or general meetings. We want everyone to benefit from our professional development workshops and our meetings and all the recruiting, all the recruiters that come to us. We want them to be. We want to make sure other majors are welcome as well. So we want to develop future leaders and professionals. And this is done by developing your communication skills, your engagement. Through a lot of companies do really admire when students, even though they are full-time students and they work, that they also volunteer, because it shows not only that you're interested, you have some passions, but you also like to contribute to your society. And another thing, as I just mentioned, we will have this semester, we plan to have company events. We want to be involved in the community, and we want to start a mentorship program for all students. Next slide, please. So you guys may have heard of the CO2 dragster competition, or you guys have already participated on it in your freshman year. So the CO2 dragster competition is the final competition for freshman students on the graphics and design fundamentals class. I believe it's the first class that we as mechanical engineers have to take. And this is a great experience because in my personal experience, this is where I got the chance to talk to a lot of people from other classes. I was like, maybe you're in the Monday, Wednesday class, but on this competition, because all the freshmen are there, you are able to communicate, to just network with maybe the class that's on Tuesday, Thursday. And you get to collaborate with a team. You guys get to design your dragster however you want. And in the past, we have done whoever has the most creative design, and also whoever has the faster dragster gets a prize. Next slide, please. So the other major event that we have here at ASME is a networking dinner. And this networking dinner, we really enjoy doing it because it's very beneficial for our students. We were not able to do it last semester because of the transition from everything being in person to online. It just didn't work out. But for future semesters, we look forward to doing this the night before the career fair. So I know that Career Expo is usually Thursday, Friday in the fall semester. So the networking dinner is usually on Wednesday night, and this is open for all students. And this is just a great way to talk to to the recruiters in a more laid back setting. So instead of you having your resume in your hand and only having, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes to sell yourself to them, it's more of like, so what does your company do? Or why do you enjoy working for this company? It's more of a two-way conversation of them selling themselves to you to see you're actually interested in the company, rather than you just trying to sell yourself to see if they want to hire you. So this is, as like I said, more laid back. This is a great chance just to maybe get some emails from recruiters, maybe keep in touch, just to start like a conversation for later on. Maybe when you looking for a full-time position, you already know this recruiter, they have talked to you before, and maybe you have a chance on landing an interview easier if you had not met them before. Next slide, please.
So some of the important events that we have coming up. Our first general meeting will happen on Tuesday of next week, February 9th at 6 p.m. And here we'll be discussing important updates coming up for the semester. And the second half of the meeting, we're gonna have a resume workshop. So please join in and take advantage of this opportunity. Another huge event that we're really, really proud of and that we're really excited to announce is that we're gonna be working in collaboration with Mice and Ship, and that we're gonna be having a Tesla info session. This is gonna happen on Wednesday, February 17th at 6 p.m. I personally had the opportunity to intern at Tesla last year, and I reached out to my recruiter and I asked her if she would be so kind to have this info session for us and collect resumes, just giving opportunities to Utep students. She was more than willing to do it. So, this is huge for us because, Tesla doesn't have a history of coming to Utep, but now we have a recruiter that is going to be reviewing resumes, is going to be sending them directly to hiring managers. And, this is the recruiter that sends the resumes to that manager to get that internship. So this is huge. Take advantage. Last year we had this event. It had a great amount of success. I believe 2 UTEP students got internships as a result of this event. So this is huge. That's coming up. There's going to be a resume book that if you attend this event and you're part of ASME, you're going to be able to upload your resume. And this is going to be given to the recruiter. But again, put emphasis, the link will be shared for this event and the resume book only if you're a member. So now that we discussed some of the things that we're known for, some of the things that we've done before, I just want to highlight at a very high level, what is the value added? What is the benefit of joining ASME? Why you should join, and why is this very important for you and for your development? So the biggest thing, one of the biggest things that the value that we add within ASME is that you have the ability to connect with classmates in mechanical engineering. Some of the other organizations, they include all engineering, so you get to meet people from other engineering disciplines. But within ASME, you get to connect with people who have similar interests as you, take the same classes. Maybe you meet someone in your social that you can kind of pick up when you have to form a group in a class, or you want to discuss homework or things like that. We have that kind of friendship that is established within our organization. Another thing that you could do is that you can network with classmates who have interned at top tier companies and have excelled in the mechanical engineering course load. A lot of our officers have interned or have worked or have gotten offers at companies such as Lockheed, Tesla, Rolls-Royce, One Gas, Cummins, Blue Origin, NASA. So, join us and, we can kind of advise you on what to do, on how to deliver the best version of yourself forward. This is very important. One of the biggest things for me as a freshman, as an underclassman, was that going to these organization meetings, I had the opportunity to network with upperclassmen. And that way, through these events and through these organizations, I was able to do that. And they were able to tell me what to do, what classes to take, what to focus on, what organizations to join, something that is very, very valuable to do. And of course, develop yourself as an individual. When you talk to these company representatives, when you try to present yourself for job interviews and things like that, you want to demonstrate that you have some campus involvement. And we have opportunities like that through ASME, and of course, build your resume. So some of the plans that we have through this semester is that we intend to, we get it, times are hard, but we intend to capitalize on the fact that we have, this virtual platform and do as much as we can with it. With that being said, we intend to do resume workshops. So we're gonna have on our first general meeting, the second half of our meeting, after announcements are done, we're gonna take advantage of giving you guys a little workshop, and you guys can ask us questions and ask about the format, how you should kind of write this. It's just a little more laid back, more interactive thing, just so that you can set that up for yourself and bring the best version of yourself forward for the Tesla event or for other events in general. Another huge thing that we want to do on the same note that, want to connect upperclassmen with underclassmen is we want to start a mentorship program. So what we're going to do is that we're going to have people sign up either as mentors or mentees, which is going to help upperclassmen also get in community involvement by helping out younger generations. And, this is very helpful because you can meet with your mentor one-on-one through Teams or however you feel comfortable, and you can ask them about, what classes should I take? What professor should I take? Or if you could go back in time and do something different, what would you do? Something that is very valuable that we sometimes miss. And I feel like with this online platform, we don't get that. So this is going to be a good opportunity for you underclassmen and for upperclassmen to engage and to give back to the Utep community. And of course, company events, we have that Tesla event coming up. We also have connections with Lockheed Martin, with Cummins, Rolls-Royce. So stay tuned for those in communications. Of course, socials. Maybe you could have like Among Us social, movie nights, things like that. It's still tentative, but that's definitely things that we're planning. And also, since we are a mechanical engineering organization and we are tailored to the mechanical engineering course load, if you're having issues with thermodynamics, if you're having issues with statics or things like that, a lot of our officers have extremely high GPAs. They have excelled in the mechanical engineering course load, so they know what it takes to excel in these classes, and they can certainly help you out with tutoring sessions. So now that we have hopefully convinced you to join our organizations, how do you join? So the biggest thing that we would like you guys to do is go to MindTracker. If you guys aren't aware of how to do that, on your Utep, like my Utep signing page, there's like the MindTracker logo. You click on that and you search for American Society of Mechanical Engineers. And you can just easily request to join the org. And then either myself or one of the other officers will accept your invite, and you will be added to our communications list where we will send event links and things like that, communications leading up to any events that we may have. And of course, sign into this QR code. Like this is gonna help us keep track of who went to this event and email, so that we can either add it to our email directory or send you guys the invite through MindTracker. And of course, follow us on Instagram. And that's going to be huge because we're going to be sending a lot of like updates or flyers on, LinkedIn workshop coming up. The mechanical engineering department tends to have a lot of that. So we're going to put emphasis on that. Events coming up. We have the Tesla. We had a Cummins info session today. Workshops, things like that. So we're going to be announcing that through our Instagram page. And that's going to be at ASME Utep. And of course, stay tuned for communications and join us at virtual events. If you're wondering how you could be an active member, join us at our events, join us on MindTracker, and follow us on Instagram. We're not really charging for any fees right now because we understand these are hard times. And of course, it would be really unfair to you guys to charge you guys a fee and then be like, well, we're not going to meet in person. I'm not going to get pizza, any benefits. So right now we're just keeping the fees on the sidetrack, but we're still looking to deliver opportunities to you guys. So that's the deal with that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me go back to this slide. We appreciate your interest. So you guys can scan the QR code and ask any questions you may have.
Mario, do you think you could move the screen that shows who's speaking to the other side, just so it doesn't block the corner of the QR? Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Does anyone else have any questions? No questions. Alrighty then. Okay. Do you have anything else to add, ASME team?
No, I just want to emphasize on the importance of, joining these organizations. During online classes, it's the kind of tendencies for students to do is to lay low and not get engaged. But, we're trying to override that. The only way that you're going to stand out and kind of get those opportunities is through joining organizations like this. And of course, the SA teams are great because that helps you with technical abilities, but the professional development aspect of growing yourself as a leader, as a communicator, as a student is also very important. So that's why I want to give emphasis on how important it is to do this stuff and to join these organizations. And of course, this is something that's going to happen like a couple months down the line. I already see it happening. Recruiters are going to ask you, during the pandemic, during online classes, like, what did you do to set yourself apart? What did you do to kind of develop yourself? And are you going to say, well, I stayed home and I played video games all day? No, of course not. You want to say, I joined these organizations. I improved myself as a leader, improved myself as an individual. So just please take advantage of these opportunities, guys.
And before I let you go, Mario, can you very briefly explain how the CO2 dragster race works?
Yes. So if you are a freshman or in your first year of your undergraduate degree, there's this class called the Graphics and Design Fundamentals. And the way it is that class, they teach you how to do computer modeling through various softwares. I think this case is just Fusion. When I took it a while back, we used another software package, but right now they use Fusion. But your final project, you're going to be instructed to do a CO2 dragster design. I don't know if that's something they're still doing. Right now, because of online classes, that's something that we're probably not going to happen just because it's not safe to do so in case, that's going to be tentative depending on whether or not we can kind of roll out a vaccine, get everyone vaccinated and kind of determine a safe way to do so. But in the meantime, that's still tentative. But usually in previous years, what that happens is that during that class, you have a team, you design a dragster and then you race it. So it's pretty fun. It's kind of, a downside that you guys won't get to experience it, but this is something that we do with ASME. It's something that we're known for.
Awesome. Thank you, Mario. I do see Alejandro has one more question, but if you could please answer him in the chat so we can move forward and respect our next presenter's time.
Yes, definitely.
Awesome. Thank you, ASME. So up next, we have the Mike Loya Center for Innovation and Commerce, along with other entities that they're representing. So if I could have that speaker. Oh, there you are. Perfect.
Let me share real quick my screen for a presentation. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so my name is Andres Gutierrez. I'm part of the Mike Loya Center for Innovation and Commerce, and as Mayra was mentioning, we also represent Studio G and Blackstone Launchpad, and we'll be talking to you about those. And I have here with me part of the team. I have Victoria, Mia, and Nanda. They are as well part of the team and will be helping me with the presentation. Sorry, I don't know why it's too slow. It's not moving on.
We're really happy to be here, and we hope that you guys take advantage of these opportunities that we're going to present to you guys today.
Victoria. Can you share the presentation, please? Because I don't know why it's too slow on my computer. Or Mia.
Let me see.
Oh, there we go. So today, well, as I mentioned, we will be talking about the Mike Loya Center for Innovation and Commerce Fellowship, the Studio G, that is a business accelerator, and the Blackstone Launchpad, that is a business incubator. Let's see this thing moves. Okay, so we're going to start with the Mike Loya Center for Innovation and Commerce. The mission, go back. Sorry, this thing is too slow. Okay. So the mission of the Mike Loya Center for Innovation and Commerce, it seeks to develop the region's economic by promoting the culture of innovation and entrepreneurship at the confluence of business administration and engineering through our research, education, and collaboration. So we facilitate our research between College of Engineering and the College of Administration. So to generate ventures, and our core values were research, education, teamwork, community, and excellence. So who we are? As mentioned, we are the Mike Loya Center. We conduct and promote three main objectives. That is research in innovation and commerce, cross education with COVA and College of Engineering, and now research to regional business and entrepreneurship community. The Goddard Research Fellowship, it's a program that we have for graduate students in the College of Administration and College of Engineering. It provides a stipend of $50,000 per year to all students. That will be a monthly stipend of $1,250. With this, the students have the opportunity to gain experience in entrepreneurship and innovation field and cross-disciplinary between business and engineering. Then the requirement is that they will be working at the center 20 hours a week. So how do you apply for a fellowship? So you need to submit the application through a web page, and you need to submit a resume, a letter of interest where you are highlighting your future professional interests and your experience with small businesses or startups. And if you don't have like any experience at all with those type of business, you can just tell us why you want to learn more about innovation and entrepreneurship in your letter of interest. So you will also need to submit your acceptance to graduate school and submit your application through the webpage as I mentioned. So who is eligible? So it's for graduate students that have at least 1 year left in the graduate program, and for undergraduate students that have at least 1 semester left on their study program. And here is our contact information for Michael Aia Center. So please follow us on our social media. We post different events during the semester, pitch competitions, and different events that are useful for you if you want to become an entrepreneur. And here's our webpage where you can go and fill out our application to become a part of our center. I will pass on the mic to Mia for the Studio G. Oh, Victoria.
Yes. Thank you, Andres. My name is Victoria, and I'm going to talk to you guys about Studio G, which is really exciting. I'm one of the consultants there. If you want to go to the next slide, please, Andres. Oh, there we go. Thank you. So like Andres mentioned earlier, we are Utep Student Business Accelerator, and we aim to support student entrepreneurs and make entrepreneurship an available and sustainable career path. So after you graduate, we are here for you. Whether you're a recent alumni or student at the moment, we are available and ready to help you. There we go. And then who can be a member? So our Studio G services anyone who is a UTEP student or recent alumni, like I just mentioned. And I do want to emphasize that all of our services are free of charge. So I would highly recommend that you take advantage of this opportunity. And we are open to any college, any major, anything that you're, wanting to do, whether it's College of Liberal Arts, or I know we're talking to engineers at the moment. So anything, we are open to everyone. And we do have a lot of business advisors that are part of our team that we go ahead and provide and give you resources for. We also provide networking opportunities and other resources to help you launch your business. And whether you're just in the ideation phase or already like working on your prototype, we can help you every step of the way. Some events that we have going on are, for example, our Instagram Live, which is a great networking opportunity. So we initiated this last semester and we had our first one, which was a big success, with one of our entrepreneurs that was from College of Science. She was a PhD student. We also have our networking hours, again, more networking events to get to know more like-minded people and, possibly meet like your next partner for business. We also have a podcast, so perhaps you can't attend one of our events, but while you're driving, you can just go ahead and listen and get some really good knowledge through there. We also host the MLCIC business competitions, which is a great opportunity, again, to get some cash prizes if you do win. Apart from this, we also have boot camps and biz sprints. So along with many more. And I think we're going to go ahead and talk about the boot camps later on. But if you can get involved, we did host a College of Engineering, and it was a really good session. And whoever the winner is also got cash prizes. So to be on the lookout for all of these things that we are hosting, because they're all free of charge and you can win things for your business venture. If you want more information, here is our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Spotify. So feel free to add us on there. And then there's also our contact information. I'm the one on the bottom, Victoria Miranda. I'm a Studio G consultant, as well as the Graduate Research Fellow. And Mia Gomez is also here representing us, and that's our website. So I really encourage you guys to go ahead and look us up and utilize this awesome free resource. I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic to Fernanda so she can talk to you guys about the Blackstone Launchpad.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I hope all of you are awake. I know you guys been here for a long time, right? So I'm not going to take too much of your time. This presentation is very concise. And I'm here to tell you that we have Blackstone Launchpad. How many of you have heard about Blackstone Launchpad? Maybe if you can raise your hand using the the toolbar on the top. No? Okay. Right. So yeah, Krista, Victoria. Yeah. Okay. So the Blackstone Launchpad, it's a network of events and programs to teach you as a student, right, and facilitate entrepreneurship programs while you're still in school. What are those resources that we offer to you as a student? Well, we have access to mentors, we have programs, we have specific content for events, so you can learn and experience what it is to be an entrepreneur. The Blackstone Launchpad, it's basically what we want you is to explore entrepreneurship where you are still in school. We want you to create something. We want you to build with a purpose. It doesn't matter if you're going to continue or applying for a job. All these skills that you get in entrepreneurship are transferable and useful for you to get you on top of the other applicants. We're talking about teamwork, agile methodology thinking, communication, a different way to think about problems. So it's very interesting, and how when you merge with other students, you start creating amazing things. And that's what the Launchpad is all about, right? So we're here to support you in every path of your way. It doesn't matter if it's an entrepreneurship or if you decide to open up a business, right? So how do I get started? How can I join the Blackstone Launchpad? Well, you can subscribe to our newsletter. Right now, everything it's virtual. We really hope to get back on campus because we have a physical location where you can go, sit down, and create and talk to mentors. Hopefully, we get that ready for you on the fall. As of right now, you can subscribe to our newsletter. What are you going to get to our newsletter? I promise we're not going to bombard you with daily emails. It's a bi-weekly newsletter where you can get what's going on around campus and entrepreneurship, right? What are those talks? What are events? So join our newsletter. So hopefully you can get a copy of this presentation so you can get the links. Mayra, I don't know if we can make that available to the students attending today. I know there's 13 students, so maybe we can that can be possible.
Definitely.
And then we have also created a new platform where students can go and connect with other entrepreneurs here at the university, right? It's the Startup 3. It's a platform where you can see who's working on different ventures and how can you be part of the entrepreneurship ecosystem here in Utep. On the Startup 3 platform, we're also putting all the events, all the entrepreneurship events we have for you, prepared for you. Can you go to the next slide, please? I think I've changed my slides, but for some reason they're still, there you go. So what else do we have as a launch pad? We have a kick-off event party planned for you. When is this happening? On February 16 at 3:30 p.m. If you join the Startup 3 platform, you're able to RSVP and check in. We're going to have students just like you giving giving you tips and giving you feedback on why it's important to participate in these type of events at the university, right? You get to know other people, you get to meet with mentors, participate in another big business competition. So it's exciting, right? So this is exciting. We never, this is the second year we have these competitions in campus, and we would like you to be part of it. Can you go to the next slide, please? What else do we have planned on for you on this spring 2021? We have a startup weekend coming up on March, the first weekend of March. So again, save the date so you can participate. The startup weekend is 3 intensive days where you get to work on an idea and get to know other members on the university that also want to get started a path in entrepreneurship. On April, we have our pitch competition. If you're already working on an idea and if you want to get mentors to help you get that idea to the next level, this is a competition for you to participate. We have exciting prizes. We have up until $20,000 available for you to participate and get advantage of these competitions. We're going to have founder talks. When, how, what time. Sign up to Startup 3 so you can be aware of all of these events, and you can sign up RSVP. And if you really want to be involved in entrepreneurship, or you don't really know if Studio G, if Launchpad, if the Mike Loya Center Fellowship is the right for you, but you have the spark in there. So talk to us, schedule a meeting, and we'll figure it out what's the best pathway for you. If you just want to explore entrepreneurship, if you want to continue developing your idea, or if you already have an idea developed and you want to get to the next level. So these are tools available completely for free for you. Right now we are completely virtual. You can find all this information either on our website at the Mike Loya Center for Innovation and Commerce. We're not the building though, because we say, oh, are you in the building at the Mike Loya Center? No, we're not in the building. We're totally different. We are located in Prospect Hall. Thank you. So that's our web page. So we have exciting things going on. Check our site, and hopefully we get to see you and get to know you in one of our competitions. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you all. Do we have any questions? You feel free to raise up your hand or to type them in the chat. I know this is a lot of information we typically don't hear over at engineering, but definitely take advantage of this. How do you RSVP to these events again?
Okay, so here on the chat, I am sending the link for you to sign up to Startup 3, and you can RSVP there directly in Startup 3. You'll get I really like Startup 3 because I like to have everything on my calendar, and it will automatically get you the calendar invite, so you have it on your Outlook. So sign up there, use your minors credentials, and you'll be ready to go. I don't know if anybody else have any other questions. And yes, that's a lot of information, Mayna.
It's all good. This is all being recorded, so we can always look back on it. And if you want, I can also take any flyers or any presentations and also send them to all our ME students at any time.
Right, I think that would be a very good idea. because the presentation has all the links and all the emails and everything, so they can reach out to us whenever they have time. Yeah. And I think you've seen. I noticed Kevin Stala. So he participated in one of our business competitions during the summer, and we also invited him to participate in pitch competition. Is that right, Kevin? Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we can have it was just we can have you know, students from all over the university, graduates, undergraduates. If you know someone that recently graduated from the university, they can still have access to our services. So we're here for you.
Awesome. And then one final question before I'll let you go. I think it just got answered in the chat, but does Studio G offer workshop or courses to start on business or entrepreneurship? And I believe the answer to that was yes. Or I'm not too sure if Mia was answering a different question.
Yeah, it's taking over the chat. They have a platform called Talent LMS, which is practices from the MIT. And you can access those, I guess, free of charge. So Mia, maybe you can be in contact with Luis Castillo, so he can access that information as well. I'm going to share some other platform that we have at Launchpad, what we call the Entrepreneurship Toolkit, and they are online educational resources. There's pre-recorded videos for you depending on the stage of the business that you are. If you're just developing an idea, they have 6 available pre-recorded videos, so you can check them out. If you're looking to position your product, there's another videos in there. So there's worksheets for you. If you want to know how to brand your business, that's also, you have several videos in there. So depending on your stage, your business venture, you can access all of these resources. So, you know, we're here for you, Studio G, Blackstone Launchpad, Michael Aia Center. But what we want you is to participate, right? To take advantage of these programs. And our end goal is to help you become an entrepreneur, or take the skills with you and put them to practice.
Thank you so much. I know you and your team are always available and they always have opportunities. So seriously, students, take advantage of it. Alrighty then. So we will move forward. Thank you everyone for participating. We just have one more student organization, and that is the Society of Women Engineers. So if we could have the SWE rep turn on your camera, share your screen, and we can move forward. Hi.
Hello, actually there's 2 of us, so I can go ahead and share my screen. So we are here from Society of Women Engineers. Okay, well, where is the presentation? Well, hold up a second. Sorry, I don't know what's going on. Can't see the presentation for some reason. My name's Annalise Fench, and I have Daniela with me today. Here we go. Sorry about that. I haven't used Teams very often for stuff like this.
No worries.
So I believe that Daniela has a sign-in sheet for you all, if you could fill that in. And I will go ahead and start with the presentation then. So yes, we are from the Society of Women Engineers. So the first thing we really want to show you guys is who we are. I mean, you know, we have the name Society of Women Engineers, but to be more specific, our mission is to stimulate women to achieve full potential in their careers as engineers and leaders. while we expand the image of the engineering profession as a positive force in improving the quality of life and demonstrate the value of diversity. So then down here we have some of our pillars, which are integrity, inclusive environment, mutual support, professional excellence, and trust. And these are all really big for us because we can't have our mission statement fulfilled without these pillars being fulfilled either. And so we're really just here to empower women in the field. We're frequently underserved within this field, and so we formed this organization. It's a national organization, and this is our Utep chapter. And you don't have to be a woman to join. I like to mention that. And so we do have quite a few men and boys in our group. Don't know what they'd want to be referred to as, but and they are lovely to have with us, and it's really great because they can help us have that inclusive environment and show that not only women can work on empowering women. I think Daniela is trying to reach me, but I can't see the chat. So
yes,
I don't know.
Yes, do you hear me?
Yes. Let me know if you want to take over or anything.
Connection. Okay, thank you. So some of the goals of our society are community networking, outreach, community service, professional development, and involvement. And the members of SWE are able to reach these goals or achieve these goals are very important to us by attending the different events that the different officers of the organizations made every month. So yes.
We have some examples of those coming up. So, but we'll go through this slide first really quick. I can read through it. So one thing about SWE, as we call it for short, is that the Utep section is free. The national section is not if you want to join that, but it's not necessary to join our Utep section. So you can get involved for free and get started right away. You can also meet other people in engineering. I know we're currently at the mechanical engineering open house, but I am an engineering leadership student. So, getting to meet other engineering majors, and we like to have people from outside of engineering come and talk to us as well. We also develop professional skills. We have older SWEsters, as we call ourselves, who have professional experience, who can talk to the younger students and members. Upperclassmen know how to get those internships and stuff like that, so we can learn from them. We help our community by giving back to the El Paso and Juarez area, and employers really like seeing this on your resume, so it gives you an opportunity to do this. And we also have a conference, which is We21, and we're hoping it's going to be in person this year. Don't know situations, but it's in Indianapolis, and if you become an active member within SWE, you can be sponsored by Utep. There's certain requirements to do that, but if you're interested, we can tell you more later, or we can ask one of our you can ask one of our other members. It's a list of things that we have later too.
So some of the upcoming events we have are fundraisers. So we are giving a $60 gift card for Valentine's Day in Anson's 11. You can participate in this fundraiser by sending a ticket price that costs $3 to our treasurer. He is Luis Arellano. We can, if you are interested, you can send you an email, and we can email you his Venmo and Cash App. Other upcoming events are the community service ones. So I think we have a problem with the presentation. Yes, but some upcoming community service that are going this month are El Pasoans Fighting Hunger Food Bank online donation. You can do it online donation, and you send the confirmation to our volunteer officer, Alejandra Garay. Then also you can volunteer to judge a science fair in the Virtual Sun Country Regional Science Fair. And also you
send an email to Alejandra Garay, which is a volunteer office chair in SWE, and the professional development events for February. We have a Facebook interview mock meeting, I think, this February, and also in Jobline, you can register for a mock interviews that will happen in February 11, and you send those to Lia Vijarano, which is a professional development chair. And for socials, we have the Netflix movie party, which is going to be in February 12th. The mental health shake event, which will be in February 20th, and send a sweet Valentine, like when we were in middle school or elementary school, where you give like your little friends like a candy or something. It's like the same. And this event will happen between the 8th of February and the 28th.
Yeah, so that's really just to give you guys a taste of what we do. These events change monthly and go based off of, as you can see, holidays for Valentine's Day, or we did a Halloween movie party at one point, but they change monthly, and each of our different chairs is in charge of the different events. So you contact them in reference to them. And so these are our requirements for membership or ranking membership. You can still be a member and not rank, but you can get bronze, silver, or gold, and there's different perks brought with doing that. As you move up, you get voting privileges or a bronze pin for the bronze status. Then once you hit silver, you start having the ability to run for officer positions and also receiving a silver pin. And for gold status, you can run for executive members, which is chairs like president, vice president, secretary, and I think treasurer is included in that one. And there's a gold pin as well. And these are the requirements in the center. So when it's referring to the categories, those are the categories you saw in the last slide. And right now we have the requirements changed a bit because of COVID and being online. So we made it a bit easier to rank, but in general, it's kind of the same structure when we are in person, just usually a bit more intense. Like I think for gold, when we're in person, it's 12 events instead of 11.
So if you're interested in joining, you can follow us on Mind Tracker or our Instagram page. They're Annalise, I think, yes.
Yes, I'm the one who runs the Instagram page.
Yes, she publishes the upcoming events, some announcements, reminders, and some scholarships that if you are part of the SWE National membership, if you have that membership, you are, one of the perks is that you can receive scholarships. So we share that on the Instagram page, so follow us. And if you have any questions, you can email us to the SWE minors Utep email.
And so here's a bit more information, and thank you for watching our presentation. Remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram.
Thank you all so much. Do we have any questions for SWE? Again, you can raise your hand or type it in the chat. No, I think everyone's tired out.
Yeah, well, you know, unfortunately, we were all in classes, so this was the best time for us.
It's all good. It happens. I'm sure people will look back and rewatch the recording. Thank you so much, Annalise, everybody, for your time. I think with that, then we'll close out the open house. So thank you everybody who participated. If you were a super extra active participant, we will definitely be reaching out to you for some ME prizes. But other than that, I'm going to stop this recording now.